episode of Spare Time. Today, my special guests are the old face of Umpqua Survival himself, Sam Hango.
Howdy.
And as you're used to, my buddy Mike.
Hello, hello.
With his signature greeting.
Something like that.
So thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I had to hurry up and get you in here before you left town. So for folks that are listening that don't know who Sam is, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, Sam.
I'm Sam Hango. I used to work here for quite a long time. You might remember me from doing the raffle drawings almost exclusively until, well, I wasn't here anymore. And yeah, like he said, I was kind of the face of the place for quite a while, and I loved every minute of it. Wouldn't change a thing.
Right on. So, I guess it's not that new anymore, but you got a little family going.
Mm-hmm.
Couple kids and a wife. How's that whole thing going?
The kids are fine. They're growing up. They're getting big. They're eating everything in the house, just like everybody said they would. You know, everything that all the old guys have been telling me for the years and years and years that I've listened to them is true. It's all true. If an old person starts giving you life advice about kids and family, it is true. Just so you know.
Right on. And Darcy's doing good?
Oh yeah. Darcy's she's getting on her last couple days here, working at the 138 Grill there in Glide, and she's getting just as excited to leave as I am. But she's a lot more sad to leave everything behind than I am. So, but otherwise, yeah, we're excited to head off.
New adventure.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about your move, your little adventure that's going to happen.
Well, I got a job. I sort of shot for the moon there and landed a job at the Union Pacific. They were going to actually train me for 6 months, and I'm going to be a conductor at Bailey Yard in North Platte, Nebraska, which is a huge move because I was born and raised in here, in Roseburg and Glide. And I'm going to be basically leaving everything I know behind to go over there. And I've been there once for couple of weeks, and I really liked it, but it is a completely different world. It's incredibly flat, as you'd probably imagine. Of course, North Platte's a little bit closer to Colorado, so at least I'll know which way west is. You look at the one mountain you can see, and then you're a compass. But no, other than that, I'm just excited to go start that, because trains is something I think when you're a little boy, you pick like 4 things that you're excited about, right? You're excited about Army stuff, you're excited about space, you're excited about trains, or you're excited about dinosaurs. Well, right. there's no careers being a paleontologist, so naturally I picked trains, right?
Thomas the Train.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'll be fun. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. When I told Skylar you were moving away, he said, and I quote, he always liked trains, like Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, that's cool though. You nervous at all about moving over, or?
No, we got a lot of people that are going to help us out. I'm getting a pretty good sized sign-on bonus, so I'm not worried about that. We just needed some help to get there. And once I get there and get started, I'll be able to pay everybody back. And I'm just excited to start the whole new adventure. Really, it's not so much an adventure for me. Everything that I'm feeling is magnified for my wife. It's a whole new world for her.
Yeah.
She's the one that's given up all the support systems and all the people that love her and all her friends and her family and everything. For me, it's like, yeah, I'm leaving my family behind, but it's okay for me. So, you got to remember, I'm the guy that everybody's going to have to depend on when we get there. So I got that pressure on me, but I'm not worried about it because I'm going into a job that I'm enthusiastic about. And I don't think you really need anything else. As long as I give a damn about what I'm doing, I can't honestly see anything going wrong. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, it sounds cool.
Good outlook.
I know for one thing, if any of my kids, or like if Justice and Savoy decided they were going to move to freaking BFE to start a job as fucking whatever, making $6 million a year, I would probably shut that whole thing down because I don't want my grandkids moving that far away from me. So I'm sure your folks are probably not super happy about the whole thing, but
yeah, they went from us moving. We were 2 minutes away from them. I mean, hell, you could have ran to my house from their house in 10 minutes when you're 70 and old, and you could have still ran there in time. But, I mean, now we're going to be halfway across the country. But, my grandma lives there. She lives in Lincoln. It's 4 hours away. So my mom's going to visit us straight away. Straight away, my mom's probably give her a bigger excuse to come out and visit her grandma and us more often, to be honest, which is probably good for my mom. But, yeah, no, my family's just probably going to miss the grandkids more than anything, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, give them something to do with their money. They can travel and visit. Yeah, it's going to be weird not having you stop by the shop.
Yeah, but when I do come, it'll be like a big surprise. It'll be like fanfare and all that stuff. Hey, look, it's that guy from Umpqua Survival, and nobody will remember me by then.
Yeah.
Turn it into a once-a-year deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Anniversary.
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be riding on trains pretty often. I don't know how far they're going to let me go. I understand that the farthest they'll let me be away from the family is like 3 days at a time. So I don't imagine I'll be going to Roseburg very often. But, there are Union Pacific rail yards everywhere. So eventually I'll probably make my way out here on business. And if not, I'll probably have some personal time. And obviously I'll want to come back here. So,
yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So, yeah, like I said, I'm going to miss having you stop by the shop. Makes me think about the old days in the shop with your endless, useless knowledge.
Listen to me sit here and complain about everything.
I actually, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of what I know about guns I learned from you. Because when I came here and took the store over, I shot guns, but I wasn't a gun guy. I didn't know that much about them. So I learned a little bit from you, and then you showed me where to learn the rest. So.
And for people listening, inquiring about some sort of weird advanced knowledge and sage advice I might have, I have no idea where I picked any of that up. One day, I think it was before Carlos started here, a guy came in with an 11mm Dutch Beaumont black powder cartridge rifle, and I knew exactly what it was when he came in, and it was Greg, it was Millie's husband. And I couldn't understand exactly how I knew what that was, because I've never in my life Googled that. Never gave a crap about Dutch guns. Who cares about Dutch stuff, right? When you're looking at military surplus, which is kind of my thing, you're looking for like German stuff, you're looking for Soviet stuff, maybe some Japanese stuff. Every once in a while you get some Italian crap because it's cheap, but nobody cares about Dutch stuff. And it came in and I knew exactly what it was. And I have no idea how I knew that. I just did, right? And of course he told me all about it. And the key is, when old people want to talk to you about stuff, you just listen. Listen, right? So that's my advice to all the young people out there that are listening is when old people are talking about guns, they're interested in them. Just listen, okay?
Well, I'll tell you what, you learn more from your customers than you learn from just about anyone else.
Here at Umpqua Survival, we got all of our news from listening to people come in and tell us what the news was.
Yeah.
That's a statement of fact, for sure.
Small town.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't know what was going on until somebody came in here and told me about it. And after like halfway through the day when 12 people tell you about it, you're like, oh, yeah, I know all about that.
That must be true.
Yeah.
Must be true. Yeah, I think the best stuff, though, are your fucking one-liners, man.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. What's your sales pitch for selling a 1911?
I got a lot for that.
If you don't buy that 1911, my grandpa died for nothing.
You're right.
Wow.
Yeah. That's pretty much the one. Yeah. Or Ruger really came up with the best sales pitch when they started naming all their guns the Ruger American, because you could just tell customers anything else is un-American.
Nice.
Those guys know what they're doing with their marketing team. But that's basically what I was rolling on is, yeah, dude, if you don't buy a 1911, my grandpa died for nothing. This gun won 2 world wars back to back. You can sit here and complain about it all you want, but at the end of the day,
it's still here.
It's still here, and it's going to be here for another 100 years, and I'm still going to have one after 100 years, and I'm still going to look cool after 100 years. Yes. And I tell you what, I'm still waiting for all these plastic guns to start falling apart in 80 years. I'm waiting for it. People, you know how plastic gets brittle over time.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to start taking them out in the parking lot and just smashing them with my 1911. My old 100-year-old, just bang, bang, bang. Look at that. They're crumbling to dust. Right?
Treating your poor 1911 like it's a freaking high point.
Eisenhower's going to be proud of me when I smash those other plastic guns. He's going to be proud of me.
So, obviously, you're still a gun guy then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me at lunch, you were telling us at lunch that you were planning on leaving most of your guns here until you get settled over there.
Yep.
But then Darcy had a change of heart.
Well, we're probably going to bring some. You know, I don't want to get political because I have some very strong political opinions. But with what they're doing to Trump right now, I think everybody's going to be a lot safer knowing that we're strapped. And if you want to know my political opinions on things, you should have caught me at the Narrows the last couple of years, and I would have told you everything. But yeah, I'm 100% certain that something's got to hit the fan sooner or later. Some sort of oscillating unit on the ceiling is going to get covered in fecal matter sooner or later.
You might as well have the tools available.
Because I don't want to be a subject. I want to be a citizen. Yeah. You know, as long as we have that right, it's foolish to not be that person that can take care of things. Because, you know, as it is, when I'm driving around in town, what if you get a flat tire and you're stranded on the side? I'm not afraid of a thing. And when I'm going from Oregon to Nebraska driving the whole way, I'm not going to be scared of a thing. You know, and I don't know why people would give up that luxury of not being afraid of anything, basically.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right on. So, I know you've always had a love for 1911s and AKs.
Right.
And CZ firearms.
Of course.
Have you found any new stuff that you're into?
I haven't bought a ton of guns in the last couple of years. We've been saving up to buy a house, and it's just, I don't think it's going to happen in Glide, but it's still, you know, money in the bank for where we're going. I mean, I'm telling you, the difference in housing prices is crazy. You can get an 860 square foot house with a quarter acre land in Glide for $299,000, or for $254,000, you can buy a 4-bedroom house in Nebraska. Right. So it's like I'm cashing in some foreign currency here. It's like I got British pound sterling and I'm about to trade in my $10 for $100. I mean, it's insane where we're going. And basically, as soon as I get there and I can once we get the house and we're not saving money anymore, I'm sure I'm going to start acquiring guns left and right like I was before, you know. But in the meantime, we're saving that for the kids. So no, I haven't bought a lot of guns, but I've been really appreciating the surplus guns that I have, and of course the reenactment group that I've been with the whole time. They're kind of looking for me for stuff right now before I leave because they know that they're gonna lose me here. So, are you still keep in touch with the reenactment stuff? Yeah, actually, right now they're doing their damnedest to find me a Soviet railway engineer hat. Like an authentic one. Nice. And they said, like, dude, you got to wear that when you're working. I'm like, well, I think I have to have a hard hat on, but if I don't, we will see it. Like, hey, you know, it will happen. Absolutely. You'll have to get your social media going. Oh, no. Maybe we'll fire up Darcy's social media. I don't have no social media. I like to stay sane at home. Yeah. Yeah. So, you'll probably have more opportunities for like Civil War reenactments over that way. I don't know what it looks like as far as that stuff goes in Nebraska. I want to say our unit primarily stays West Coast, but of course they're in league with a lot of other, you know, all the reenactment guys are all. Yeah, you'll have to hook up with another group. Yeah, they're webbed together. So I'll be a part of something. I don't know. I'll have to see what it looks like because I don't honestly expect a lot of guys in Nebraska to dress up as Red Army soldiers and go die. And I'm not entirely sure what the exact battlefields are going to look like because it's so flat there. So it's like, do you just start on one side of the field and the Germans are on the other side of the field and you just start shooting at each other as soon as they ring a bell? Like, there's nothing to hide behind, right? Lots of smoke grenades going off. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe they'll have like a freaking old ghost town or something. Yeah. They do a reenactment. Set up a set. Actual, could be. That'd be cool. Yeah, and like you said, I could see Civil War big time. Yeah. But nobody in Nebraska, I'm thinking, was a part of the, like the Revolutionary War, Civil War period. So when we're dealing with like muskets and stuff, they're really going to have to stretch some imagination. Because in Oregon, you know, in Astoria and up in Goldendale and everything, they had that. They let us do it at the National Guard Armory. So we could do the Fall of Berlin every year as our big event because they had their urban training environment. So they have like a fake town built, and we were all running through there, you know, driving half tracks around shooting at Nazis, which is, I mean, you can't get any better than that. I know people, reenactment's boring. There's something really cool when you have like 130 Soviet guys all charging the Germans, machine guns, just yelling, "Hoorah!" and they just can't get all of you. You know, it's really exciting when you watch them drop their machine gun.
The human wave.
Yeah, and they turn around and run, you know, and you beat them to death with rubber shovels.
Yeah. So what got you into the whole reenactment thing?
That's something that was destined to happen, man. You know, it came from, I like guns, and specifically I like surplus guns, and the cheapest surplus guns a person can buy is Russian guns. It was only a matter of time before you accidentally find yourself in the Red Army accidentally. And the uniforms are cheap too. Like, I want to reenact SS. Do you know how much money those uniforms cost to be SS? Plus, you know, I can dress up in my stuff and go into Dairy Queen when we're doing an event. You know, we had the Red Army detachment in a Dairy Queen in Goldendale, and they were like, "Oh, you guys supposed to be like Russians?" Yeah. You know, you just look like soldiers, Russian soldiers, right? Well, I made the joke with the guys when we were there. You're not going to see the 2nd SS come cruising in here in their half tracks wearing their Nazi uniforms with the swastika armband. Nope, here they come.
No.
You know, just to make me a liar. Here they come. They all come in there. Kamerad. And I'm like, never mind. Here's the Nazis. They don't care.
They go everywhere.
Yeah,
damn
they don't
Nazis.
Yeah, that'd be weird. You got any cool stories from your reenactment days?
Oh, those guys took care of me. I told them I didn't like fighting in the hat. You know, you get this. The Soviets have their little infantry hat. It looks like the McDonald's little.
Sure.
What do you call it? They call it a palatka, but it's, you know, it's essentially like the hat that the old Burger King employees would wear, the paper hat.
Oh, gotcha.
Look like an envelope, and you open it up and stick it on your head.
Nice.
And I told them I don't like fighting in that. That's not realistic. You guys got to get me a helmet. I'm not fighting unless we got a helmet. So they got me a helmet, and I purposely would leave the strap really loose, so when I die and I'd go flop over somewhere and go rolling 10 feet, that helmet would just fly off, you know? And I tried to make it look authentic when I would die, instead of just sitting down like, I'm hit. Yeah, no, I would just lay out and eat shit, drop my gun, get dirt in my mouth, fall over in some thorn bushes. Oh, and I tried to really do it to it, but as far as reenactment stories go, it's mostly just, man, I got to tell you, every person that does the reenactments to me was just like me, and I'm kind of an odd duck. So it's really neat when you go to a room and there's 60 people all crammed in a barracks all farting together, and everybody there has the exact same thing that they want to talk about, because nobody else other than me here is like, "Oh, dude, let's talk about flags." Sure, 2 hours later. Oh, dude, that's the best fucking flag, right? No, you go to a reenactment, and they're talking about the same computer games I play. They're talking about the same shit that I collect. They're talking about the same hobbies that I have. Wow. I mean, all of them, it's just like a whole room full of me. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. So they're good guys.
I bet that would be pretty cool, actually. Just a bunch of people that are into the exact same stuff you are.
Oh, yeah, and you get some people, and they're like 16, right? They're like 16 out there, and they're like, "Hey, can I have a dip?" And you're like, "I don't know, can you?" Like,
did your mom say it was okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my mom said I could do whatever while I'm here. It's all fun, and I'm like, okay, but I better not see you passed out in the snow. you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
So, sounds like you'll definitely be trying to find a group to hang out with over there then too.
Yeah, and if not, I know I'll start getting vacation actually fairly soon. The way, they say, you got to work a year before you start accruing vacation time. But the way that they do the year vacation at the railroad is it's 120 starts, which is not that bad when you really think about it. That means I go to work 120 times. So assuming I'm going to be on call for quite a while too after I get done training, because I'll be the new guy. The new guy has to take the crap jobs. I'll be on call. I'll be on the night shift. I might get 2 starts in one day. So 120 days is going to go by pretty quick, and I'll have a week, and I'll probably come back and do stuff. So,
yeah, that'll be neat. Plus, you're going to see a lot of places, dude.
Yeah.
I can imagine that you get to see some spots that nobody else gets to see being on the railroad, because some of those tracks run, far from people. So
yeah, here in the West Coast, you
Backcountry,
can kind of watch the railroad follow along roads and rivers. You can see it. Yeah, especially if you're driving from Roseburg and you're going to Eugene, you can kind of watch the railroad the whole way. But yeah, no, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
When you're in the middle of the United States, the railroad is not going to follow the highways.
No.
You're going to be in the middle of some guy's field, and if something breaks down at 4 a.m., I'm going to have to get out and walk around and fight coyotes and figure out what the problem is. So it'll be exciting for sure.
Yeah, I know when a couple times when I've been crossing through other states that, you know, I'm just driving in the middle of nowhere, and then all of a sudden there's a freaking railroad track.
Yeah.
You know, so where that goes, no one knows, but you're going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any big plans for once you get over there? Any things that you're looking forward to doing?
Well, I'm going to have a bit of time before I start work because we're going to head over there in June, and my start date's not going to be until probably July. And we're going to have time to explore. To be honest with you, I'm excited. There's this place that just opened up right next to where my house is going to be at. It's called Pizza Ranch. And it's like one of those adult kind of Chuck E. Cheese's, you know what I'm talking about?
Adult.
Oh, like Dave & Buster's?
Yeah, exactly. And they did this event where the first, I think it was 12 or so people that showed up there got free pizza for a year. And I was like, God damn, it should have been me. It should have been me.
I'm signing up for that.
Because you know how I'm going to be there every other night. I'm going to take my kids and I'm going to be like, okay, go nuts. Here's $10. Go play on the arcades. And I'm going to sit there and eat pizza and drink beer. I mean, I'm excited about that. So,
yeah, like a million years ago, I moved to Missouri. And it was weird for me because, number one, everyone in Missouri asked me the weirdest fucking questions. Like, I had people asking me if we still had wagon trails here, and do we have running water everywhere? And I was always telling, I was like, it's a few states away. It's not going back in time. I was like,
not a time machine.
Yeah, it was so weird. And then the funny thing to me is that everyone I met in Missouri, their lifelong goal was to see the ocean.
Uh-huh.
And I always ruined it. You know, I was always telling them.
Yeah,
I see it all the time. It's not that great.
It's blue.
Yeah. It's kind of cold.
It's real windy.
What's Crater Lake like? It's blue.
Yeah.
It's blue. It looks nice. It's pretty, though. No, I'd imagine that's going to be double time in Nebraska because there ain't nothing farther away from the ocean than Nebraska.
Yep.
But I'm going to be excited about their stuff. You know, I'm be like, how many cornfields do you guys have?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That every place I've been has its own thing that's freaking cool as hell. So.
Yep.
I'm not a huge desert guy, but there's stuff in the desert that is really pretty and it is neat. And you know, I've been lucky enough to get to travel a little bit around the United States, and I have to say everywhere I've been has had things that I really liked. So.
Yep. Yeah, when I was littler, my grandma used to take us everywhere. Every time we go visit her, we'd go, you know, I've been to Waldrug, I've been to North Carolina, South Carolina, Washington. I've been everywhere. You know, I'm not Johnny Cash, but I've been a lot of places. And we did go to Nebraska. I think while I worked here, for my birthday, we went there for a couple of weeks, and I actually had a really good time, and everybody there is incredibly friendly. The only thing I'm worried about is, you know, I gotta be careful when I tell people, you know, we're from Oregon, because I don't want people to be like, oh, Oregon, everybody got pink hair. No, not Portland. Yeah, no, we're from regular Oregon. You know, we're all right. We're good. We're good folks. So
you got to worry about tornadoes. No.
It's funny because I've been told the whole time we've been looking at it, oh, no, there's no tornadoes in western Nebraska. And then, like, the last week, there's been, like, 2 tornado alarms that went off. Go seek shelter in North Platte. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess there's golf ball-sized hail.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out how that works for, like, insurance and shit. Because everybody's car has to just be totally pummeled.
Yes.
And when you're getting 6 feet of snow all winter long, you know, because it's -2 degrees the entire winter. And I'm going to be working at night then, so... Yeah. Like, my truck is just going to rot away from salt in a couple of years. You know that. Like, it's going to happen. They don't salt the roads here in Oregon, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have to do it there. Otherwise, they're not going to have anybody driving. So, stuff to look forward to. Oh, and sales tax.
There is a sales tax. Huh?
Yeah, but at least they won't take half my paychecks.
Yeah.
You know.
On the bright side, though, It will give you a really good excuse to put a snowplow on the front of your truck.
Yes.
My truck was always destined to have a snowplow.
Maybe you can get like a railroad-looking one.
Yeah.
There you
Like-
go.
Like they have on the front of a train.
Yeah,
That'd be freaking awesome.
that would push it just fine.
That's the whole reason I hope for a zombie apocalypse, is so I can put one of those on the
You're
front
putting
of
a
my truck.
blade on the truck.
Maybe I can get one of the old horns too. You know?
Yeah, that'd be badass.
Just be sitting there at an intersection, the light turns green, nobody's moving. I just, rah, 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 you know?
You'll just be the nerdiest train guy ever.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to own it. You know, you got to own it.
I love my job.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, so you'll be on train a lot. From what I understand from other people I know that have worked on the railroad, you end up with lots of downtime and they all seem to basically just set up a laptop for gaming and do a lot of playing video games. So that'll be good for you because you're a video game guy, right?
So, you know, the job I applied for, I thought I was going to be kind of like a brakeman switch operator thing, but it really, after 6 months, I'm going to be a conductor, which means I'm going to build the train and then either go home at night and just be the yard person, or I'm going to be the road person. I'm going to go on the train with the engineer and go to different cities. So I will be traveling quite a lot. I'll be away from the family every once in a while. And yeah, then, you know, I'll probably.
I thought the conductor drove the train.
The engineer drives the train.
Oh, okay.
The conductor's the guy that, think of it like, you're
in
familiar
charge
with like a crew chief, like in the military concept, like a Black Hawk. The pilot flies the helicopter, but the crew chief owns the helicopter. It's his baby. Not quite the same with trains. It's the engineer's train, but the conductor is responsible for everything that's going on the train.
Pretty
So
much the logistics of everything.
right. So when something goes wrong and we got to stop in the middle of nowhere, I got to get out and walk 2 miles worth of diesel freight train to look and see what the problem is. And they have all these sensors and things. So it's not like I'm just going to be walking around until they find it. They're going to be like, go 130 cars back and look for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you get paid for that.
So it's strictly freight and not a.
I don't think that it's anything other than freight for them because again the Bailey Yard where I'm going to be working, they have a live camera, you can watch them 24/7. It's the largest railway
Sure.
in the United States, probably the world. I'm not sure. They have their own gift shop and set up the thing for all the railway enthusiasts that want to come and look at it. But and I'm one of those people, so the whole thing for me is just going to. I'm not saying it's my dream job, but it might be my dream job. You know, it really might
You
be.
just don't know yet.
Once
until
you get there,
started,
yeah.
Right, because nobody's building battleships anymore. So this is the closest thing I'm getting to what I really want to do with my life. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, as far as I know, Union Pacific is just freight. I think the only ones doing passenger trains are like
Amtrak.
Amtrak
Yeah.
and a couple little independent things, but
Yeah, and the benefits for working for that place are substantial.
I'm sure, yeah.
You know that railway employees don't even pay into Social Security?
What, really?
No,
They
you
have
don't
their
pay
own-
Social Security anymore. You get your own railroad worker Social Security, which is basically like really quick, layman's terms. It's double regular Social Security.
What Social Security was supposed to be.
Right, and I was even thinking, damn, I'm 28. When I'm 60, they ain't even gonna have Social Security no more. I'm gonna be paying into this for
Yeah.
nothing. But railway Social Security it's double what normal people make. And then after that, when I retire, and I'm gonna be retired when I'm like 50, right? Because you can retire in 30 years. My wife is also going to collect my Social Security, which is she gets half what I get. So since I get double what normal people get, she's going to get half of that, which means my wife, if she wants to, is never going to have to work in a day in her life and is going to collect full Social Security after I retire, which is just incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with that.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
And when I was telling the folks there at Glide Water, when I was working for them, I put in for this job, I got it. They weren't mad at all. They were like, good luck, go do it. We're happy for you. We're rooting for you. We're pulling for you. So I think everybody here is excited to, sad to see me go, happy to see me leave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of jobs out there that are not careers. They're just
Right.
jobs. So, when you see someone that you work with who's leaving the job to start an actual career, you got to be happy for them.
Yeah, and that last job, I guess you could have almost said it was a career, more of a career than being a clerk.
Yeah.
Because hypothetically, if I'd have stuck with that water job for a while, I could have got an offer from some place. Who knows, right? I could have got a call from somebody in Pennsylvania, hey, we got your information here. Do you want to come work here and be a plant operator here? And I could have went and moved and did that because every town in the world obviously has water. It's an essential thing, but it's not quite the same because with the railroad, it's actually like almost like an employee incentivized thing. Like, hey, you've been working at Bailey Yard. This is the big dog here. Now that you've been working at the big dog for 5 years, do you want to go and do something smaller? Like, we'll move you around because we're in this weird stage right now in America where the rail yard for the last 100 years has not really been doing anything. And now all of a sudden it's expanding because we went from, man, it is expensive to have diesel freighter trucks drive around. Yeah. And now all of a sudden the rail yards are getting packed.
They're like, hey.
Because I was expecting, furloughs to be fairly frequent, like working at the lumber mill. And the gal I was talking to, Union Pacific's lead senior, or whatever you call it, onboarding person there, said, we haven't had a furlough in North Platte since 2016. You got to be crazy to think we've furloughed anybody since COVID. You got to be crazy. You're going to be working the whole time. So,
well, that's good. Well, and it makes a big difference too when you're doing something that you're interested in versus, just doing a job to make money.
Yeah, and I liked my job at the water place. I did, but it fit two of the three things that make a job great, which was it was in the hometown where I wanted to live and work. And it was very close to home. Because remember when I was working here, for a while I was living in 10 Mile. And that's an hour drive to work and back. And that sucks. Yeah. And we were at the point where I would leave before my kids would wake up. And I would get home when my kids went to bed. And I wouldn't see my kids, which kind of sucks. It's quiet. Yeah. It's nice, but it kind of sucks, right? Well, there it's more like, no, you're going to be working and you're going to be probably doing nights for a while. But, I mean, you get to go home. And see your family and that sort of thing. So I can't imagine it's going to be worse anyway. I'm only excited about it. I don't have any reservations about going and doing this.
No, I think it's awesome. Yeah. And you're young. So, I mean, it's cool because you get it's almost like starting a clean slate, but you got a whole family already.
Yeah, I could change my name. I could be Max Power. I could have a whole new identity. Yeah, I could have a mullet when I get there. Nobody would know that I'm different.
Oh my god! Dude.
You're one of them West Coast boys.
I have to tell everybody, anyone that does not know Sam, Sam chews. He uses dip.
Hi.
But he's the worst
That's true.
chewer in the world.
That's true.
He every time he has to spit, he looks like he's gonna throw up.
That's true.
And it makes me giggle every single time. And every single person that ever sees him with a dip is like, dude, why do you do that? Because he does not look happy about it at all.
No, dude, we were at one of the reenactments. We were in what's that? It's just north of Astoria. We were up in Washington, and it was snowing, and it was snow the whole time, and my feet were freezing. My feet were turning black because we're wearing the freaking period correct boots, right? Like they don't give a shit about your feet. And I was spitting dip one night, and I had the beech nut, the big leafy stuff, which is even worse than regular Coke.
Were you trying to be period correct?
Oh yeah, no. The boys bought me a little Soviet tobacco pouch with a little hammer and sickle on it. No, I was doing it right. Shit. And I'm all standing out there at night, and I had my little, the enamel cup, the period correct enamel cup, and I had beer in it. It doesn't matter. You had a Keystone in the cup as long as it looks period correct. And I'm sitting there and I'm drinking my beer, and I was just spitting dip in the cup and then drinking it. And we had some girl there that was from Kazakhstan that speaks fluent Russian. She's like, is this how? And they're like, no. That's just him. That's just him. Only he does that, And I had to go find a guy in the American, 82nd Airborne who would come out there and do that shit so I could prove I wasn't the only one. I'm like, no, I just don't care. I'm here to have a good time. So, but no, I am I'm miserable at tobacco, but I'm still going to do it.
Yeah. It still cracks me up every time I see you, though. So, are you still playing video games and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got a lot of free time right now.
Are you still playing? What are you playing now?
Oh, man, I still play that City of Heroes with my dad. We've been playing that since I was in...
Well, that's different. That's with your dad. So, I mean, you do that because that's his game.
Yeah, no, but he's the guy. He's the guy that plays that game. He's a big deal on that game. It's not like it's not an official game, and on the forums and stuff, people are talking about my dad.
That's pretty
Nice.
cool.
No, it is actually, he's kind of a big deal about that. It's neat. And I'll go in there and I'll play games with him, and he'll be in a team with, 30 fucking people. Oh, we're in the middle of this thing. We've been doing this for 3 hours and we got another 2 hours left. And my dad will be like, okay, guys, well, I'm going to play with my kid now. And they're like, hey, whoa, we need you, man. Like, we can't do this without you. And the guys that have played with my dad for a while are like, hey, listen, he's only doing this with us because he needs the company to play the game. And when this guy's here, he doesn't need the company no more. He doesn't need to play this game with you guys because he needs the stuff from playing this mission. He's only doing it because he's bored. And now that his kid's here, he ain't bored no more.
Yeah,
so, like,
see ya.
yeah, later. Yeah, exactly. And I feel good about that because I'll be rolling in there like, hey, Dad, can I have $2 billion? And they're like, oh, what the hell, man? It takes somebody 5 years to make that. My dad's like, here you go.
Nice.
And they're like, what the hell? Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I've been playing a lot of that. And of course, I always play strategy games, boring stuff.
Are you still playing like War Thunder or whatever?
I don't play a lot of War Thunder. I play a lot of Hearts of Iron. It's just you stare at a map. It's one of those games that it's not for everybody. You make a map and you color the map and you're like, ooh, look, I'm Germany. But you're just clicking pop-ups and moving troops around. It's more like you're playing math than anything else. I don't play a whole lot of fast-paced shooter games because I got kids and you can't stop playing a Call of Duty game and be like, hey guys, I got to pause this. You can't pause. Yeah, you can't pause an online game because your kids are hitting each other in the living room. So I got to play games that I can play by myself and stop and pause and do things with. So
yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so I miss hearing about all that stuff. You know what I really miss is our little game nights before you freaking got married.
yeah,
Thanks, Darcy, for ruining game nights.
yeah, game nights were legit.
Yeah, and we let you come one time and you ruined it forever.
Oh, no.
You killed everybody. For people that don't play, Dungeons and Dragons and things, my wife is absolutely a murder hobo, and she'll kill every single NPC you put in the game. It's with no feelings whatsoever. Nicest person you'll meet in real life, but when they're made up people, she will murder them.
Yeah, But I miss that. It was fun. We had a good time. Might have to, with you being on the other side of the country, we might have to figure out how to play with whatever that's called. Freaking, what do they call that?
Oh man, they got enough websites for playing D&D online.
They got like Roll20.
Yeah, Roll20 is huge, and it's such a mainstream thing now to play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, there's any software that's out right now. In 2 weeks, they'll have something better. Dungeons and Dragons is a huge deal.
And a lot of people use Discord.
Oh yeah,
on Discord. So.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have to figure that out.
We'll have to do something.
We'll create an online thing.
Yeah, and you got all these cool things where you can download all these digital models and play. We used to just play on a simple one. It was called like Tabletop Simulator, which was literally just a bare bones. Here's a tabletop. Download whatever board you want to play and put it on the game, and then roll whatever dice you want. And it actually used like physics to roll the dice. Like you'd click the mouse and pick them up, roll the mouse forward and let them go to roll the dice instead of clicking a button and watching the random numbers come up. I always felt better knowing that you're physically seeing the dice roll, because I always feel like wwhenever you just click a button to roll a dice and it's like, oh, 1, you're like, I'm getting fucked a lot more than, you know what I'm saying?
You're like, why is this computer mad at me?
I feel like random chance really fucks me up as opposed to playing physically.
What really sucks is when you roll in that way is you can't lie about what you rolled because everybody saw it.
Yeah. No, you can cheat and roll 20. If you're the dungeon master, you can set your dice to so only you can see them, and you can be like, yeah, it was a 12.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I miss those days, though. It was fun. I grew up, when I was a kid, I was a freaking big nerd, and then it was not cool to be a nerd when I was a kid. Now it's freaking like everybody.
So anyways, what we were just talking about is some of the old gunsmiths that we used to work with here, and I was talking about Rocky, who is, of course, one of my favorite people of all time. When Rocky was getting ready to move, him and his wife went to Wyoming, and they went to the Weatherby factory. And the Weatherby factory, the whole front room is set up there to be just like a big come on in, sit down, have a powwow, hang out, great big awesome fireplace to sit down at and really kind of experience the luxury of everything while you're looking outside and there's just snow coming down. And Rocky said there was this lady sitting there in front of the fireplace, had nothing to do. And Rocky said he was talking to the front desk people, trying to talk, like getting a tour and this sort of thing, the other thing. And his wife went and was talking to this random lady. And of course, Rocky said, well, I knew who she was, but my wife didn't know who she was. Right. So his wife's like, well, what do you do here? Do you work here? And she goes, yeah, I guess I work here. Well, what do you do here? I just sign the employee birthday cards. Right. Well, that must be a sweet job. That's a cushy job. You just, right. And Rocky the whole time is like, that's Roy Weatherby's wife. Right. And she's like, who's that? And Rocky's like, whatever. Like, yeah, buddy, there's the guy's wife right there. That's a sweet job. Oh, I just signed the birthday cards. And I was like, damn, dude, I want that job.
Yeah, it's always cool when you meet people that own those big companies.
Yeah.
When I was over at a thing, over in Georgia, I went to the Daniel Defense Factory, and I met the husband and wife that owned Daniel Defense, and they were cool as hell.
And that's some top of the line AR stuff, Daniel Defense.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to take any pictures. Like, you're not allowed to bring your phone out.
Yeah.
But it was neat. I got pictures outside the building.
I feel like that'd be one of those places that'd be fun to meet. Like Palmetto, remember Palmetto when they got started, man, they were pretty bootleg, and now they're one of the biggest.
Yeah.
They are the biggest. Manufacturer of, ARs and everything else. They make Glocks and knockoffs and AKs, everything. Palmetto makes everything. They're always available. They're always super cheap. And I remember when they started, they were plugging random YouTube channels trying to just get a little bit of, what do you call it? Immersion. They were trying to get people to just know their name.
Right. Yeah.
And they went from like, hey, please buy our stuff to like, there's no alternative.
Well, I don't think there's a single person in America that is into guns that doesn't have at least a dozen Palmetto stickers.
You accidentally buy stuff from Palmetto.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times?
You did? Yeah.
Yeah. How many times were we working here and we'd call some guy, hey, dude, I got your 5 lowers from Palmetto. And the guy'd be like, shit. And you'd be like, what, would you buy guns when you were drunk again? Yeah, fuck, I didn't think I actually hit checkout.
Well, they're here.
Yeah. Ah, man, I'm gonna have to come get them.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they're always running some sort of deal.
Yeah, it's cool though. Like, just like Bud's Guns, they started out selling some, like a little garage gun store.
Yeah.
Selling some guns online, and then now they're one of the biggest online retailers that use guns.
Bud's Guns totally got Hickok 45 to thank for that.
Yeah.
That's just total. Every time you watch that, every single person in America has seen a Hickok 45 video. If you are Googling a gun, if you're interested in buying something and you type it in, oh, what's a SIG 365? The first thing that comes up is Hickok shooting that gun. And it's a super simple video, right? Just some old guy out there. Let me get my ears on here. We'll see how we like it. And the first thing he does is he plugs Bud's Gun Shop every time.
Thanks, Bud's Gun Shop, for getting me this gun.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. And those people gotta owe that guy a very many beers, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Good friends.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
That's the way to do it, though.
Yeah, and who would have thought, right? Who would have thought when that guy was starting out that he was going to be the guy that people go to advise? Because it's just such a simple channel. He's not one of these hardcore dudes that's like, well, I don't know if the ergonomic. No, dude, you're not listening to some guy talk about slicing the pie in CQB and high-tech bullshit. You're watching some old guy go out there and go, that's pretty fun to shoot, works really good, hasn't jammed on me. Like, that's what you really want to buy a gun based on.
Right.
Practical
use.
That's like Sean's videos on his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
he's
Sean's
pretty simple about the way he's like, all right, this is what I got. I'm shooting 3 rounds of this and 2 rounds of this, and we'll see what it sounds like. And that's the end of the video.
I don't know, dude. I've seen some of Sean's, though, where he accidentally, like, shot his truck because he was trying to do some hardcore shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot through the passenger window, out the driver window. Oh, boy.
That didn't work out right.
Well, I got a breather hold now.
Yeah.
That's the best, though.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, he has a good time when he goes out. And since he's been here, he's got all the rest of us so he'll take our stuff out, so he gives him more stuff to experiment with, and then now he's working on getting a hold of some of our manufacturer reps and different things so that he can actually
hook up some shooting time,
hook up more shooting time and try out different people's products, and hopefully eventually his YouTube page will catch on and it'll turn into something.
Yeah, and you need to have a guy like that in this little kind of gun store, small town environment. Yeah. You need to have a guy that heightens the interest for everybody, because it goes from let's buy some guns to like, no, you guys need to buy some guns. These are cool.
Check this out. Right?
Yeah, no, exactly. You got to check this out.
Yeah.
You haven't seen what these things can do. I mean, when the P365 SIGs came out, I mean, it's now it's like standard. It's what it is. Everybody knows what it is and everybody's used to it now. But when that thing came out, that was like, wait, this little tiny pistol that can fit in your pocket holds how many rounds?
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible. And people are just, and now you're used to it. It's standard now. But at the time, that was completely game changing. So you need those people that have the interest to tell you to get in on it. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. And he's, him and Leon both, they've actually hooked up with customers and gone out shooting with them to try different things. Mm-hmm. Leon had a guy that was interested in some different suppressors, and it just happened that all but one of the suppressors the guy was interested in, one of the people that works here had. Mm-hmm. So he just took them all out with that guy so he could try them all, and the guy made a decision that way, and that worked out perfect.
And then he picked the one that he didn't have.
That was why it would be so sweet to have a actual range in your store.
God, it would be amazing.
That would be amazing, dude.
We would sell so much stuff if we had a range.
Yeah.
Oh man, this would be.
Hey, let's try this one.
Plus of all, you need a bigger parking lot.
Plus, I would get so tired of
just
shooting.
coming to do that.
Yeah, just to people from out of state. I want to shoot a gun while I'm here. Yeah, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, it'd be a good time.
Oh yeah.
Or even a big field behind the place.
Oh yeah.
Room. Yeah, we don't have to be high tech.
Yeah, we just piss the neighbors off.
We're out of city limits. Nothing we do. Well, no, we're kind of like
we're
right
in city
limits.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's Roseburg city limits. I don't know if that counts. You call the sheriff. Hey, John,
can you come down and try this out?
Yeah,
John actually stopped by quite a bit. He stopped by just to visit. I was sitting here one day. I think I was editing one of the podcasts actually, and he come just walking in my office. Mm-hmm. I was like, "What's up?" He goes, "Oh, I just came by to say hi." Freaking plopped down in the chair, and we just started BSing.
Nothing
Maybe
wrong with
one of
that.
these days I'll get him on the podcast.
Yeah,
he probably won't do it till he's not sheriff anymore. But
nothing wrong with that at all.
You just don't have to hit him with a whole bunch of political questions. Dude, you can talk to him about guns all day. That dude loves guns. He loves guns.
Guns and motorcycles.
Yeah, and that's why he's the sheriff.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
No, he's an awesome dude.
So my last thing before I left here is we made sure that we voted for John Hanlon one more time. Just
thank you.
Yeah, no, we're taking care of y'all. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's always been a huge supporter of the shop. So I mean, anyone that supports us, I'm going to support. So, what kind of stuff are you got going on now? What are you doing with your spare time?
I'm not doing anything. I know that sounds weird. I'm not doing a whole lot. Darcy's pretty much taken the lead, and she's packing up the house. Darcy's making the plans on where we're getting the U-Haul and what days we're going to get there. Darcy's got her friends that are going to be going with us because they're also moving that direction. Not moving, but they're going to just go there and pick stuff up like in Wyoming and whatever. And so we're basically going to have kind of like a convoy with us in case something goes wrong. And she's taking care of it, and there's really nothing for me to worry about. And in the meantime, I'm kind of just staying at home with the kids, and Darcy's going around and doing things. And, of course, she's still working until, I think, the end of the month, which is either today or tomorrow. She's going to have her last day at the grill, the 138 grill. And then after that, I'll probably have some free time to go around and say bye to people and see things one last time before I go. Because remember, we both lived here our entire lives. Right. So I do need to say bye to people. I need to see Ron. You know, I need to go talk to Ron before I leave, right? And I love Ron, man. I do. I'm going to miss him. And, of course, I got to see Bob. And Johnny would be nice. But I don't think I'm going to get them all. It's coming up so fast.
Yeah, you're leaving next week, aren't you?
I'm leaving the 10th. Yeah, I'm going to be out of here on the 10th, so it just flies by because I'm not doing anything right now. I'm sitting home watching the kids, and it's like the same day back to back, and it's monotonous. And and I'm waiting for it to change.
Right.
Yeah.
So no new hobbies or anything like that you've developed since you left here?
Honestly, no. I've been pretty boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I've been working for the Glide Water, I really haven't been doing anything substantial. So I haven't even like went out and shot my guns for fun in more than a year, honestly.
Dude, I've been shooting maybe twice in the last year.
It's expensive, and
not only that, I just don't have time. When I have gone shooting, luckily we went shooting a couple weeks ago because we had a sales rep out, and so we took him shooting, which is the first time I've actually been shooting, and I actually shot quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because other than that, every time I go shooting, I spend the whole time helping other people shoot and letting other people shoot my stuff, and really, I end up kind of trying to just sell stuff to people instead of freaking actually enjoying myself.
Yeah, same. Even when I don't work here, I'm still freaking plugging people to buy shit. I know, for real. You know, I always told everybody, I'm always working. That wasn't a joke. Like, I keep those stupid business cards in my pocket when I'm at Abby's, hearing people talk about shit. Hey, have you seen those new nozzlers? Like, no, I totally would, you know. Hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with those Howas. They're the same thing as a Weatherby. And I would be selling people shit, and that's still what I do. But yeah, no, like you said, I'm reloading magazines for people. Because when I go shooting, it turns into an event, and 13 people are like, hey, let's go. And I'm like, hey, this is kind of my ammo. This stuff's kind of expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just put a kibosh on that because I just don't feel like paying for everybody to shoot. It's not like it used to be where I'd be like, yeah, no, I got 6,000 rounds of AK ammo. Here's an AK. Go nuts. Like, go let her loose.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you'll have to find... You're going to have to find a whole new community over there in Nebraska, dude.
Oh,
I think it's going to be easy to find.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's some pretty cool gun shops over there.
I would imagine, yes.
We were talking at lunch. You said that you have people telling you about how awesome the hunting is and stuff over there. I'm pretty sure they hunt with shotguns in Nebraska, but they have awesome bird hunting over there, so that might be something new to get into.
Big time pheasant.
Pheasants are beautiful birds, too.
They taste good.
I've never ate one, but they look freaking amazing.
I think I've got pheasant feathers on my hat, that big green hat that I wear. That dude's a tall dude. Yeah, no. I'm it's going to be different. It's definitely going to be different than here for sure. And they're going to ask me a million questions and I'm just going to play it off like it ain't no big deal, but really it's gorgeous here.
You need to come up with some goofy ass Nebraska questions so when they hit you,
exactly.
Right back.
Oh yeah, no, dude, I got so many stupid train jokes I'm going to be hitting constantly. You have no idea how many stupid train jokes.
So
cows and corn.
Over there in that part of the country, I don't know for sure about Nebraska, but I know when I was over in Missouri, there is huge caves everywhere. So like there's a really big spelunking community.
Interesting.
So I mean, I don't know if that's true in Nebraska, but if so, you should check it out because caves are freaking cool as shit.
Yeah, no, we did the caves in high school. I was in the geology class and we were checking it out.
We don't even have caves here compared to
not like that.
They got a couple of real good ones here though. Like the Oregon caves, you walk right through the middle of a giant geode and that's something. Like you're like, whoa, this is great. You know, it's gorgeous, but then you walk into the next room and you're done.
Yeah, but over there in the middle of the country, they've got caves you can like drive through.
Oh yeah,
I mean, there's some pretty interesting stuff. So it will be definitely something to check out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there a lot of timberland there?
No.
So it's pretty.
It's all
much
farm.
It's all farm. And Western Nebraska is what I understand is kind of cowboy country.
Yeah.
We switched from corn to everybody. All the land's owned by a couple of big families, and it's all beef.
Yes.
So. And that's where I'm going to be at, which is going to be
not perfect for you because you love steak.
No, and it ain't going to be a culture shock for me because North Platte ain't any bigger than Roseburg.
Yeah.
So when people are saying, "Well, it's really rural out here," it's going to be a culture shock, and I tell them, "Well, I'm from Glide, Oregon." They're like, "Well, it ain't going to be a culture shock for Sam, but for the rest of you guys, just be aware that there's going to be less to expect." Sam, you're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
That's cool though, because I mean. You don't have to be scared about what you're going to experience and that kind of thing.
No, and just the bare bones of the job at a railroad, at the rail yard at night, right? In Nebraska, it's not like you're going to have to fight homeless people because they're going to freeze to death before they get to Nebraska.
God, I wish it was colder here.
Because I was thinking about it because they actually there was jobs open at the rail yard in Portland, and I was like, no. First of all, no Portland. Second of all, homeless people.
Fuck that.
No, right? Because it's not like they're going to let you have a gun.
Yeah.
What's your job? What do you do for a living? Oh, I clean human shit.
Yeah,
out of fucking boxcars.
I fight homeless people, right? No, in Nebraska, they're gonna be frozen by the time they get there. You're gonna just unpack icicles.
Yeah, you just throw them on a boxcar and move them to the next state.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the old Starsky and Hutch, right? You just kick them out with a stick. We'll just hope this sucker floats down the bay. This ain't our problem. It's almost impossible to figure these floaters out.
It all goes downstream.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be awesome.
yeah.
No, you're probably right. You probably won't. They probably still have some, but probably not anywhere near
Nothing.
what these here.
Because if you were a homeless guy, right, and you were like, I got to get somewhere where I can live and be
It's always kind of
homeless.
confused me.
Why would you go to Nebraska?
Yeah.
You would want to go to a place like Roseburg. Roseburg's almost like the perfect place to be if you're homeless. Hawaii's probably the perfect place to be when you're homeless because
Southern
you
California,
eat coconuts.
You know,
Yeah.
don't have to worry about weather.
That's what I'm talking about. You want to go someplace temperate where you won't freeze to death in the winter and you won't overheat in the summer. Nebraska is absolutely, you will die in the summer and freeze to death in the winter. Same as Texas.
Ding ding.
Yeah, it ain't gonna. And then there's tornadoes. Like, do you really think they're gonna let you into a tornado shelter? I don't know how that stuff works. It'd be exciting to know.
Dig your own hole.
Yeah, exactly. Go underneath the overpass on a bridge. We ain't got none. Figure it out.
Yeah. Find a ditch. You've
Yeah.
seen the movie. Find the ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Give them all a belt. Here you go. This is so you can strap yourself down.
Yeah.
Bungee cord,
little
something
keychain lanyard thing. They just hook onto something.
random.
Yeah. You come out of the tornado with a freaking flag stuck through your freaking arm.
Yeah. Tumbleweed went right through your torso.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, they said there's tumbleweeds that are so bad that they just pile up underneath the bridges, like the overpasses and stuff. There'll just be like 40 feet of tumbleweeds just...
That happens in Eastern Oregon,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're out like in Plush or something, or... Dude, Eastern Oregon's a different state than Western Oregon, though. It really is.
Yeah. So they have a lot of that over there, too, though?
Tumbleweeds, big time.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I would say that I'll probably come visit you sometime, but I cannot possibly think of a reason why I would go to Nebraska. Unless I went there just to visit you. I did hear about there's like an airline or something now that you pay to go on you book a flight, but you don't know where you're going.
Just somewhere random in
Yeah,
the
it's
US.
like fucking random airline thing. I read something online about it. It's like a new vacation trend
might be
where you
interesting.
just like pack a bag and freaking buy a ticket and they drop you off somewhere.
My luck would be, okay, you're in Eugene, Oregon now.
Yeah.
Well, when I went, there was stuff that was interesting for me to do. And I'm not saying it's interesting for everybody. At the gift shop there, when we were in Lincoln, which is where my grandma lived, it's the capital of Nebraska, they had a gift shop and there was T-shirts there that were making fun of Nebraska. They'd have like a guy on skis, totally flat ground, and it says, Nebraska, it's not for everyone. And people be like, why would you visit Nebraska? And I'm like, here I am on my birthday on vacation here in
visiting
Nebraska. This is what I'm doing for my birthday.
Yeah.
So it isn't for everybody. That's like their official tourism slogan is Nebraska. It's not for everybody, but I had a great time.
That could work.
Yeah. And they had stuff there that I was super interested in. Of course, the Omaha Zoo it's completely incredible. It's, we have the wildlife safari, which is its own thing. In Winston, that puts Winston on the map. Without the wildlife safari, what would be the point of Winston, Oregon, right?
Right.
But because we have that, that's like the only place I know of where you can drive a car right up next to the thing and get hit by rhinos. Like, they'll attack your car. That's incredible. Nobody else.
I've actually been to like 10 different places like wildlife safari.
Yeah.
But I will say none of them even remotely
close.
compare to wildlife safari.
No, and it's so cheap, too. You buy the year pass, and you're in any day of the week. Darcy takes the kids there at least once a week, man.
Yeah.
The kids love the walkthrough and everything. You don't even have to pay to go in there. Wildlife Safari is a special place, and we're going to miss that. And the Omaha Zoo is a huge place, and they got an aquarium and the bird thing and all that stuff. But, it's going to be like a 4-hour drive to get there. We're not going to go there every other weekend like we do here.
Right.
But that's something. I'm just saying that's something to do there.
Yeah.
And of course, they have that strategic air command center there in the middle of Nebraska. Smack bang center of the United States is the strategic air command center. They built it during the Cold War so that we could
missile
defend.
silos.
Yeah, so we could defend the United States against the Soviets during the Cold War. And I thought that was an awesome thing. It was totally out of the way. We were actually on our way back from the Omaha Zoo, and we were disappointed with the Omaha Zoo because when we went, it was COVID. And
Sure.
Everything was disappointing.
They had like half the zoo shut down, and they didn't tell you that. So you bought the tickets for full price, and you were expecting to be all day at the Omaha Zoo. And then after like 2 hours, they just kind of like lead you through a rope gate, and you're back out in the parking lot. Here you go, you're done. And you're like, well, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have bought the tickets. Like you could have at least at the door said they're half price because we only have half the zoo. But no, right? Anyway, so we were like bummed. We were like, man, we got told everybody in the whole country, like, this is the greatest place ever. And we went there and we were like, I'm sure it's great when it's open. Yeah. But like, we didn't even get to see the aquarium or the birds because remember the bird flu was happening. And it's like, how are the fish going to get you sick? They're on the other side of glass. Why would you close the aquarium? Yeah. Anyways.
They got special powers.
Yeah. So, when we were driving back, because we had tons of time to burn. We were expected to be gone all day, and it was like 2 hours later, we're already done. We went to this, it was a jet just parked on the side of the road, hey, SAC Center, go check it out. Tours, whatever. So I'm like, pull in there, let's go look at some airplanes. And of course, it's the Strategic Air Command Center. This is like the biggest, what it is. It rivals the McMinnville Air and Space Museum, which again is an incredible thing that everybody needs to go see because they have the Spruce Goose there. Right. They had to build a building just to fit the Spruce Goose. It's like the largest airplane that they ever built, 320-foot wingspan. It's incredible. But then you go to the SAC Center and it's different. There's missiles and there's jets and there's B-36 Peacemakers, and there's things that we don't have here. It's like all the strategic bombers, and they have like some shot down Soviet stuff on display, and you get to see like Curtis LeMay's jacket, and you're like, oh man, this is legit. They have like newspaper clippings from like when MacArthur got fired for trying to nuke Korea. Yeah. No, it's legit. Like, I loved that place.
It was totally up your alley.
Yeah, no, and I was like, dude, I could be a tour guide here. I could tell people.
You're like, I know more about this shit than they do.
I probably do. Yeah, I probably do. Again, I have no idea why I know more than that. I just do.
Well, at some point, your knowledge that you didn't know where it came from led to you deep diving into every little thing that you heard about.
Yeah,
I want to know more.
They had these little tiny stupid airplanes there, and they're parasite fighters. And I was like, we didn't have a tour guide, so I was explaining to Darcy, they had these big hooks on them, and they would actually hook these things underneath the wings on these B-36s, and the idea was no airplane can fly as far as a strategic bomber. So after a certain range, you don't have any escorts anymore. It's a huge problem in World War II. By the time the B-17s got over Germany, there wasn't anybody watching out for them. So they would just get shot down left and right.
You're on your own now.
Yeah, exactly. You get coverage in friendly airspace, which is completely useless because you're in friendly airspace. Yep. And then when you get in enemy airspace, all of a sudden you have nobody to watch you, and that's when the enemy's hitting you. So what's the point of even having the P-51s fly at all, right? And then, of course, they had these stupid parasite fighters. You hook them onto the wings, and when they see enemy fighters, they detach them and they drop loose. How are those things going to compete against an actual MiG? How? That was the stupidest idea they ever came up with, because obviously this stupid little bolt-on afterthought is going to get slaughtered by an actual fighter plane.
Definitely.
And then even if it does work, which is it's not going to work. Even if it did, you can't hook them back up.
Yeah, where are they going to go?
They never figured out how to hook them back up. So
they just crash and die.
Yeah, and that's not America's like fighting style. We're not like, hey, champ, give them hell. Yeah. No. Japan could have got away with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a very honorable one-time flight. No, not in America. You couldn't convince anybody to sit in that plane. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking funny, dude. That's totally sounds like it's up your alley.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a great time. I'm super excited to be going there,
dude. It would be probably that whole random vacation freaking airline thing. Sarah and I would probably love it because we're totally down with just like finding a dive bar and freaking talking to some old dude at a bar about what's happening in town and we can make a whole evening out of that. We're good. Maybe we'll find a bar that has a cribbage and we'll fucking play cribbage against each other type of thing.
I'm pretty sure most of these small towns and cities in America have something for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Really, truly. You know, my wife was
Realistically.
super into the farmer's market when we were in Lincoln. And I don't care about farmer's markets, but then when you get to the Lincoln one, you're like, whoa, this guy's selling like fresh beef. Like he just made these hamburgers.
Just
Like,
slaughtered them.
well, we got to get some of these and try these out, right? And we did. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like, then when we came back to Oregon, when we lived in 10 Mile, we went to that little 10 mile farmer's market. And there was a guy there that would sell his own hamburger patties that he was making at home. And we never bought anything else as long as we lived there. So somewhere clear halfway across the country taught me more about how to live where I was living at the time here in Oregon, which is, it's cool. You know?
Well, and we were talking about at lunch.
Mhm.
I give it 2 weeks before Darcy makes a friend over there and gets you invited to a barbecue.
Everything.
So,
Dude, she's already friends with the lady that's running the apartment place.
oh yeah.
They're like, I'm pulling for you. I really hope you get this place. Oh man, she's going to show up and they're going to be best friends immediately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then she'll know, oh, and you're moving to an apartment to start.
Yeah.
So she's going to know all the gossip of the whole apartment
Every other
complex,
complex,
within a week.
She'll be on a bowling league in no time.
Oh yeah. Whatever they do there, bowling or bowling probably.
Has to be an indoor
Bowling
activity.
sounds like a Nebraska thing.
Or cornhole.
Yeah.
They just play cornhole.
Well, there you go. There you go. Right
That's
there.
where it was invented.
Yeah.
You could be good at cornhole.
I am pretty good at cornhole. I'm not good at it. I've seen people that are good at it, but we have cornhole boards. We practice.
So I'm slowly embracing it. I still think it's freaking horseshoes for pussies, but that's what everybody plays now, so I guess I gotta freaking learn how to do it.
They'll probably play horseshoes in western Nebraska. That's where the ranchers live. So
Yeah.
They probably call it horseshoes for pussies.
I
too.
might bust out the cornhole boards and they'll be like, look at this guy over
What
here
the
with his
fuck is
cornhole.
You'd be like the guy with the electric chainsaw.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Those things are fucking goofy,
Electric
dude.
chainsaws are for pussies too.
I even put that down on my thing when I was filling out my job application. What have you done in the last 4 years that could harm your hearing? And I was like, guns, chainsaws, boats, big ass trucks, you know? And they're like, well,
Pretty
how
much everything.
And they even specify like how much exposure to chainsaws have you had? Like specifically, that was one that they signaled out when I answered that question. I was like, everybody in fucking Roseburg owns a goddamn chainsaw, and I'm not the exception. Well, when do you use them? I don't know. You're driving around. There's a tree in the middle of the road, and you get out and you cut the tree into little pieces, and then you keep driving. Like,
It's not a scheduled event.
yeah. How often do you do that? Like, half the time I'm driving in the woods.
Once a month when I'm drinking whiskey in the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of chainsaws.
It's
Yeah.
random.
That's funny. They probably don't understand that.
Yeah, and they're like, "What kind of chainsaw?" I don't know. It's yellow.
Yeah, you get into the.
They built it 110 years ago. It's yellow and it's diesel powered. What do you want from me? There's a ghost that haunts it.
That's pretty cool. Maybe they'll have some. There's got to be some cool stuff over there to explore, though. I know when I was over in that part of the country, they don't have like we have BLM roads and stuff here. They have farm roads,
Right.
and you could get fucking lost on farm roads because they just go
for
everywhere.
Hours.
And you're right because it's flat over there, so you get kind of you can see where you want to go, but
That direction.
yeah.
But the road goes this way.
I think it's going to be like the Bermuda Triangle. You know exactly where you want to go, but you're not getting there.
Yeah.
You know?
Keep rowing.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun.
Nice.
Sounds like it.
So, you were just telling us at lunch that you were getting your Abby's pizza on before you had to leave town.
Naturally.
Yeah. And I guess you were celebrating somebody's birthday or whatever
Mm-hmm.
and having a conversation with a deaf lady, but you didn't know she was
Yep.
deaf.
She was deaf. Yep.
So how'd that go?
Darcy's dad's mom she's got to be like 93. Sweet lady. She has this other lady that kind of helps her around, gets her walker in her car and everything else. And she's deaf. And she's the nicest person I've ever met in 5 minutes, right? She gave my kids $5 to play the coin machines at Abby's, the claw machine and everything else. And nowadays, those things are not $0.25 to play. They're like $1 to play. You don't win it. You don't win shit. Like, the claws don't even work. And anyway.
It's rigged.
So she was more than friendly, but she's sitting there talking to me, and she's deaf. And I don't know this. And again.
Because nobody explained the situation.
Sweetheart lady in Delray, if you're somehow listening to this, despite the fact that you're deaf, I want you to know I have nothing.
I don't think she's going to catch on to what's going on.
I have nothing but respect for you, but this lady's sitting there talking to me like, can I get a baby? And I'm like, what? I need a baby. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I'll get you another Pepsi, right? And then when she's talking to me, she's like, so where you head? And I'm like, what? Where you head to? And I'm like, oh, we're going to Nebraska. And she's like, what? And I'm like, no, don't be telling me no, what? Like, I'm talking plain English here. Like, no, I'm enunciating these big old words here. Like, and she's telling me what. I think she's just doing it to fuck with me.
Because you thought that was just an accent?
Yeah, and then she's like, yeah. Again, I'm having a hard time understanding her. I understand the rest of these people have been talking to her since they were like 10 or whatever, but I have not. And nobody told me she was deaf. And I don't have a tendency to look at people when I'm talking to them. I just don't.
Like, thanks for telling me.
Yeah, and I would have been fine if somebody would have told me that. Instead, we're halfway back home to Glide. And Darcy's like, yeah, Del Rey's deaf. And I was like, oh,
no,
gee, thanks for telling me. Like, I was sitting there the whole time. I was getting offended.
No.
You know, it was like I was talking to the swamp people. You know, Elizabeth, get the gun. There's a 700-pound gator coming into the boat now. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean, what? Because she kept saying, how you getting back? And I'm like, we're not coming back. She's like, how you getting back? And I'm like, we're not coming back. We're staying there. She's like, no, how you getting back? And the other lady's like, how are you going to get to Nebraska? And I'm like, that's not what she's saying to me.
That's not what I heard.
Yeah, no. Again, sweetheart lady. I'm not making fun of her. She's deaf. I didn't know that. If somebody would have told me that, it wouldn't have been
that's the best
the
part.
worst part. No, it would have been totally fine. It was so awkward because nobody told me until we were
just
gone.
letting you fucking go.
Yeah. And they had me sit right next to her. I could have sat anywhere, and they were like, "Here, right here, Sam, right here."
You're all, thanks for setting me next to the rudest bitch I ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? God, you insensitive prick. She's deaf.
Yeah. No, and then knowing she's deaf, I'm like, oh, what? Okay, well, she was a sweetheart, right? She gave my kids money to play the game. She was nice to me. She was trying to talk to me the whole time. That's, you know, I imagine that as being a friendly thing, trying to include somebody that's otherwise just sitting there staring straight ahead. But this lady just fucking, what? I'm like, are you serious? Yeah. Are you for real?
You're like, I'm over here trying to interpret what the fuck you're saying.
Yeah.
And you just act like you can't hear me.
Where the fuck are you from?
Like full ear into it. Like, what state are you from?
Oh, no.
See, I would have guessed like South Georgia. You know what I'm talking about? Like you get lost in the Everglades. No, for real. It was like this.
So you're trying to place the deaf freaking.
Because no, I was legit.
You'd be like the coach on Waterboy.
What? No,
like
for
seeing
real.
Almost naked. What?
That's exactly. It was like I was trying to remember watching Swamp People, and I was like, okay, what was Troy saying? You know,
that's the weirdest accent I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from here. No, she even said that at one point. That's when I was really confused. She's like, well, I was born and raised here. And I was like, what? Where here?
No.
Because I always love telling people shit like that. Well, I'm like, where I'm from, it's rude to do. And they're like, well, where are you from? I'm like, right here. And then they're like, oh, okay. You know, but no, that lady's like, yeah, well, I was born here. And I was like, like Roseburg here?
Come on, man. You're
like,
pulling
now
my
I know
leg.
how everybody feels when they're talking to me.
I was like, yeah, no, for a second I was thinking like, is that what I sound like? Like when I go to the Japanese restaurant and the guy comes out there and he's like, oh, you want another Coke? And I'm like, oh, you're gonna want to keep these things coming, man. I'm fucking chugging through these things. Like, does he have no idea what I'm saying?
He's like, yeah. Okay,
when I dial it up, when I go full hick, is he just like, oh, yes. Ha ha ha.
Pretty much.
Oh god, you always find yourself in these weird situations, though. It's just like when you tried to freaking fight lesbians at the freaking bar at the Narrows.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was a good one. The St. Patrick's Day lesbian fight. It will forever be immortalized in my heart.
Yes.
The funniest part was after that whole thing, they told me, like, I knew that one lady. They're like, hey, you know her. Like, you used to work for her at the casino. And I was like, huh?
What?
What?
She looks different.
Yeah.
Oops. The things that you do. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, we used to have some fun though. Your stories used to crack me up so bad, dude. You always seem to get yourself in the weirdest situations.
Predicaments.
I'm never the reason that I'm there, though. Remember that.
No, you're never the reason that you're there. But you also never think about what you say before you start saying it.
Look, okay, I've said this to everybody my entire life, okay? Look, I may be an asshole, but it's your fault for talking to me. Because I didn't go out of my way to talk to anybody ever.
No.
Once in my life did I start a conversation. People talk to me, and then they get offended on me.
So
like,
you definitely need the warning label.
it's like bouncing off of something. Like, I'm just here. You came to me. I didn't come over there and start talking to you.
That's awesome.
You should have a shirt that has like a warning label
Yes.
on it. Warning, I have no filter.
I will
if you talk
offend
to
you.
me, I will tell you what I think.
Yeah. And I'm not going out of my way to hurt people's feelings, but when you're drunk on St. Patrick's Day and somebody starts calling you out on
Hey, it
something,
happens.
and you're blackout drunk, you double down.
Oh, yeah.
That's the man
For
thing
sure.
to do.
You
Yeah.
don't know. Let me make my point clear.
Yeah. I didn't even know what I was arguing about, but I made my point. Yeah. Was I an asshole? Absolutely.
Goddamn
Absolutely,
right.
I was an asshole. Was I wrong?
No.
I mean, depends on who you ask.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Did I remember what I was so fervently going to die on that hill for in the morning?
No.
Hell no. Somebody had to tell me what I did.
I've been there. I know.
Yep.
Yeah, I get there a lot.
Too many times.
Mike and I have
Good
been there
times.
together a few times.
Good
And
times.
The worst thing is, I feel bad for people that try and talk to me and Mike when both of us are drunk. Because
It doesn't
we
happen.
might look nice, but we're not very nice to people.
That was a younger thing. I like to think of myself as I've matured.
I'm more than friendly. I really am. I'm a pretty friendly person. I try to stop people from being assholes, and I try to diffuse shit. But when people are just asking for it,
100%.
I'm not shy at all. Even if it's a slight problem, I'll let them know about it.
Well, it's
You
not.
know?
It's a big problem now.
Yeah, like if you're sitting there and you're waiting for your food to come out at some restaurant and some old dude just parks next to you and just starts talking to you, and you're like, okay, like this is whatever. Like I don't know you, but go ahead, talk to me. Ask me all about my kid that's sitting here that's a year old. Go ahead and talk to me. But as soon as my food comes out, it's like, hey man, I'm paying for this. Go find something better to do, you know? And then they look at me like I'm an asshole.
And they're like,
It's
hey, you don't want to be an asshole.
and my attitude is like, no, I've already humored you for longer than any
Yeah.
sane human being already should.
Your
Like,
time's up. Go.
yeah,
away.
exactly. Your time is up. I'm not getting paid for this, man.
I feel you.
That's the disadvantage to looking like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because generally people don't just approach me. And I think I'm a pretty nice guy most of the time. But people don't just come up to me all the time and start trying to chat me up. Whereas you look like you're probably an alright guy to just start talking to.
I think it's the goofy hats.
No.
Yeah, well, the goofy hats have something to do with it. I think maybe they feel sorry for you because they think you're not all there.
No, that'll do it.
Jeez.
When I first started working here, Josh was saying, hey, dude, if you ever start struggling with anything real bad, like you can't figure out how to do a background check, we'll have like one of those orange safety helmets in the back, and you just put it on, and I'll come in here and turn the lights off and tell everybody that you're like, there's something wrong with you. Like, oh, yeah, he's got autism real bad. Like, you're stressing him out. Like, we got to calm him down now.
You triggered him this time.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm totally going to take you up on that. Because when I started here, they were just like, here's that, go.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I remember when I first came in here, there was like absolutely nothing going on at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, I just kind of hang out here and watch videos on the computer, and once in a while a customer comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, we're going to change this shit.
No, but remember, I had all those great ideas, and they just wouldn't let me do them.
Oh, yeah, dude. And well, I remember that when I first started, you were you kind of got freaking offended because a lot of the shit that I did right off the bat, you were like, I've been telling them to do that shit forever.
Yeah, Carlos comes in here. They hired Carlos. Carlos comes in here. And like the first day, he's like, well, what are some things that you should do? And I was like, well, for starters, we need a second person, which we now have. That way somebody can take a shit and still run the store. I've been telling them for a while. Like, we need more than one person to make a business happen.
Yep.
And then I told him like a couple other things. And then Carlos just did them. Because I always asked permission. And they were like, no. Like, they gave me a little box to work in, which was fine. I'm not complaining. It was better than working at the gas station, and I loved my job. But when Carlos did them, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, in 3 months, we've like doubled our profits. I was like, no shit.
That was a good idea, Carlos.
No shit.
You're like,
yeah.
Fucker.
Yeah, exactly. And I get that. I'm not mad. I'm some stupid fucking kid, and he has actually like a business degree. Yeah. They hired him to do that. But when he was like, what would you change? And I was like, these things. And then he did it immediately. I was like, oh shit. Here we go.
Yeah. You just have to do shit.
Yeah. Well,
don't ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness.
Well, no. See, and I learned that because it's not a job that I'm going to have the opportunity to do that again. Because they hired me as the guy, right? I was the only guy that worked here. I was the sole employee, and I learned that if I'm ever in that opportunity again.
Well, and they ruined that for you too, because every time you did try and do something, you got reprimanded and told.
Why?
Even if it was successful.
Yeah, they're like, no, don't do that again.
Like when I signed up to be a Henry and a Colt dealer, I got my ass chewed for that, and then all of a sudden everybody was buying fucking Colts. And I was like, what's the problem? Right? But, and of course that's a product that I endorse and I'd sell wholeheartedly, right? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? I love fucking Colts and Henrys. I named my kid Henry. But, no, when you did it, and I was like, oh, okay, lesson learned.
Don't act like you had anything to do with naming your son.
No, I totally picked Henry.
Your wife.
Darcy was going to name him Hudson, and the only reason she didn't is because somebody else named their kid Hudson right before we did.
Yeah, note the only reason was because somebody else. You had no say whatsoever.
I suggested the name, though.
There you go. That sounds better.
You got the fallback. He got the fallback name.
Yeah, I planted the name. No, and you could tell Darcy named the second kid because that kid's name is Holly Noel, and she was born in May. That is not a Christmas baby.
Well,
and her whole life, people are going to be like, oh, were you a Christmas baby? No, I was born in May. Oh. No, but anyways.
Christmas times when we started thinking about names.
No, when I started hearing you were doing everything that I was telling them to do, and all of a sudden we're making money, I was like, this is great. Like, I wasn't mad, but I learned the lesson. Next time you're actually in charge of something.
Do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Because they put me in charge, and then they didn't let me do anything. Which, again, I'm not mad.
No.
I understand that because this place never made money before you were here.
Sometimes when you're in charge of something, you have to make decisions without including everybody because if you include everybody, nothing ever happens.
Right. And if you're in charge, you're in charge.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference. I mean, if you're talking about, I'm going to spend $10,000 today, yeah, you should probably include your other people. But if you're talking about, hey, I'm going to sign this piece of paper that says that I'm willing to do this,
that's totally different.
Or I'm going to change the color of this, or I'm going to rearrange this. You just do it. You don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be a negative impact. And even if it is, it can't be any worse than what everything else is doing.
No, but it was a different world back then. This place was not here to make money. This place was here as the hobby shop, right? All the other businesses were doing so well. They just had this place because they wanted this place, and they didn't expect this place to make money. And this place never made money. But then when they're saying, like, well, we're going to shut it down because it's not making money, it's like, well, let's try to actually let it make money.
Yeah.
That's not on me at this point. Like, if I'm going to be the guy out of a job all of a sudden, let me actually do some shit to fix it. But then they hired Carlos and everything was fine, so.
Dude, it took them so long to hire me. It was freaking ridiculous.
I know, it was super funny because remember Ashley was working here and I went to school with Ashley and I was like, which guy did they hire? Because I talked to like 3 of the guys that applied. I never talked to you. You never came in and talked to me about it. And I was like, which guy did they hire? And she's like, he's, I was like, is he white? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh.
Of all the things.
Yeah. Because I thought they were going to hire Brandon. Remember Brandon? He's like an ex-Marine. He kind of had like a back issue going on. And that was the guy that was super interested in it. He's always in here every week talking to me about it. Hey, man, if I get the job, here's what we're going to do. And I thought that was the guy because Josh and Chris were Marines. I thought Brandon's got the job. And then it was you. I was like, oh, Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting though. I remember when I came in here, I almost backed out of even applying because I was like,
Ain't no way.
if these guys aren't willing to do something, this place is nothing's gonna ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
But they were totally down with what I said when I came in, and
I think at the end of it there, before you actually bought the place outright, I think you could have got away with murder. I really do.
well, it was that was the thing when I took it over. I told them, I said the only way I'll do it is if you guys let me run it like I own it, because I'm not going to I don't want to be micromanaged, and we won't be successful that way. And it worked out good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm glad it was a good thing and it was fun.
And I couldn't have had a better transition because, again, I was in a weird position where I went from being the one guy that did everything to now, hey, this guy's your boss, even though you've been here longer than him and you've done everything, and he's going to learn from you now, but he's your boss. And Carlos, the entire time I was here, basically let me do whatever the hell I wanted to. You know, it was like when we got to the point where we were actually really busy in the middle of COVID and we were making money. We were making money. Carlos would hire all these people and be like, hey, and then here's Sam. You can learn from him, but just don't do any of the shit that he does. Yeah. Just ignore Sam. Sam gets away with whatever the fuck he wants. And I appreciated that. I did. Because it's true. I could kind of do whatever the hell I wanted to. Unless I was like, hey, Carlos, I'm going to put an order in through for like $8,000. And he'd be like, no.
Not today.
Otherwise, yeah, do whatever. You know.
We had a good time, though.
Oh, yeah, no. For sure.
It was fun. I had Skylar on a while back. We were making fun of you on the freaking employee outing to the coast. Throwing up in Chris's van.
Hey, everybody threw up. I just threw up in the van.
On Skylar's food.
In the food.
His food was no good anyways.
And not everyone. I never threw up.
Yeah.
Chris never threw up.
Josh probably didn't throw up.
Josh probably didn't throw up. He was sick, but he did not throw up.
Yeah.
Everyone else threw up.
You know what did it is I had those fucking enchiladas before we started.
Dude, I'll tell you what did it is the fact that you're a fucking pussy.
I am a pussy, but if I would have just been drinking regular beer all night, I would have been fine. It was the fact that
the best thing was watching you in your little Russian fucking hat flying from one side of that boat to the other.
Dude, I remember we had to brace up in the center of that thing. We were just like, I remember there was like it had to have been like an hour and a half where me and Skylar were both just sitting there, just dead eyes, 1,000-yard stare, just eye contact with each other because there was nothing else to look at.
You're like, we're going to die.
Not a word spoken.
He was
nodding at each other.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, and then Sam jumped up and ran to the side of the boat, and Ralph, the loudest Ralph I've ever heard about.
I was trying not to throw up because I know that when I throw up, it's extremely loud. I know that. Like I don't go to the toilet and I'm like, no, I go to the edge of the boat and I'm like, and I was like, everybody's gonna throw up when I throw up. Yeah, and I can't stop. I don't know how people throw up quiet. I can't do it. And I'm standing there and I'm looking at Skylar and Skylar's looking at me and Johnny was like over on the side of the boat and he was just like, and I was like, nope. And then Skylar was like,
a fucking chain reaction.
And Skylar had his head hung over the boat and the waves were so bad that when Skylar leaned over to puke the first time, the ocean came up and went bang, slapped him right in the fucking face. And like he got wet because he had his head hung over the boat so low, and I was like, "Oh my god,
dude, it was rough." I have to.
That's awesome.
I have to say it was rough because I was on the side of the boat fishing.
I love it,
and my face almost touched the freaking water.
And you were standing up normal. You were leaning up again. And remember the captain, dude? Remember the captain? He's all sitting there. He had like his legs all staggered out like this far, and he's got like a cigarette. And he's just
he's used to it.
he's just rocking with the boat. Yeah,
and he was all like, "I'm sorry, your guys' trip's so fucked." You know, it was great yesterday.
You should have been here yesterday.
He's just chain smoking like a mother.
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck, and the whole time because they caught our fish for us. They were like, "I'm sorry."
Me and Chris caught all the fish.
We had the guys, the two kids that were with the captain.
No, they were just fucking gutting them and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Chris and I caught all the fish.
Yeah, it was good. Hey, those were good fish though.
I know. I've had fish tacos out of them and everything.
Those rockfish, yeah.
I've been on some awesome boat trips out there.
I remember the name of our boat. It was the Clover. It was the Clover. Yeah, it was green. It was green and white.
I know the pictures were great. Even though you guys were all hungover, even the pictures beforehand looked like you guys were fine.
Yeah, no, and
Before and after
we would have been
photos.
fine if we didn't get so fucked up the night before. But that would have still been like whoa, this is a crazy fishing trip. Even if we were totally stone cold sober, that still would have been like, whoa, dude, this is some crazy choppy surf. But no, because we were hungover, there was no chance that we weren't throwing up. Because I was telling everybody, I don't get seasick. I'm regular sick. This is not helping.
The best part was I took that picture with all of us, and then I posted it, and I think what I wrote on the picture was, it's about to go down, and everybody's comments were like, those were the worst choice of words ever.
As you're getting ready to go out to sea, it's going down.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
It's coming up hard.
It was funny though.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That shit was rough, dude. That was fucking rough.
Oh gosh.
I had a great time on that trip, though.
Yeah.
I did. I had a great time. I don't remember the restaurant much. I remember Josh getting the waiter guy to cut his steak for him. I remember Bob throwing up in the parking lot.
That was the best.
Bob is my hero. I love Bob. Out in the parking lot, ex-jarhead throwing up in the storm drain. Johnny had to help me and him get out of the restaurant. Remember, I was bouncing off fucking tables trying to walk. And Johnny's like, it's okay. He's shit-faced. It's good. He doesn't normally act like that. And we all get outside and Bob's throwing up. And there's like these old people sitting there trying to get, I don't remember if they were coming in from their car or they were leaving their car to go into the restaurant. And Bob's like, hey, excuse me. Don't take away anything from this. This restaurant is a nice
awesome
place. We're the assholes. Don't worry about what we're fucking doing. There's no assholes inside. We're out here.
Well, all I remember is when I was getting the trip ready, I called around and I looked at reviews and stuff, and I was trying to find a nicer restaurant where I could make a reservation for all of us, where we could all fit and have good food.
Mm.
I didn't realize that the place I chose was like set up for like couples to go on like date night.
Not a group of people, right?
And so they made the reservation and reserved basically half of the outside area for us.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
We
yeah.
were totally surrounded by couples.
And it was like back to back.
And we were like
Fucking
belligerent,
ruined
drunken
date
fools.
night for some
We were
random
we
people,
were
huh?
shitheads. And it didn't help that before we even got seated, we were in the bar for like 30
Of
minutes.
course. You had
and,
to,
and
yeah.
everybody else, I mean, before we even went to that restaurant, Chris and Josh and I, we were all drinking a bottle of freaking whiskey at the bowling alley
Why
before
not?
we even went there.
Yeah.
And these guys were all drinking road sodas all the way over. And so we got it going, and we were just drunk before we even started. And then I remember, I think it was Johnny said that he was taking you or somebody to the bathroom, and some old couple was like, you guys are totally disrespectful or something like that. Like, he's like, these old people just yelled at me as I was walking to the bathroom.
Yeah, Johnny was trying to get me to the toilet, and I was bouncing off people's fucking tables. And Johnny was like, yeah, sorry, we don't normally act like that.
You're out of town. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It
Go.
was great. But yeah, that was the best one. I forgot all about Josh. So Josh had a broken hand.
Yep.
So he's one-handed it. And there was our waiter. He was an awesome waiter, but he was
Was he earning
total
his money?
flamer, dude. I mean, he was the flamingest gay guy ever.
Oh, geez.
He had like the butterfly wings, the whole
Yeah.
yeah.
He was hilarious, and he was an awesome waiter. But Josh, like, flirted with him, or I don't know what the hell.
Josh likes being goofy.
It was fucking weird.
What the fuck?
You know?
Next thing I know, here's the waiter. Oh, I'll cut your meat up for you. And this guy's like leaning over Josh's shoulder,
No.
cutting his
Oh,
steak
yeah.
up for
No,
him.
it was like full on, like he was showing him how to play tennis. You know what I'm saying?
It was
Oh,
the
yeah.
weirdest.
It's all in the
He
hips.
probably got a pretty solid tip,
It's
though.
all in the hips.
You know?
Oh, he definitely got a solid tip. But,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh man, we're probably not allowed back there. They probably have pictures of us.
Yes.
I
You're on the
wouldn't
wall,
know, but
behind the doors, like,
dude,
"You're
I
not in
remember
here."
I woke up the next morning and I was like, "Hey, Johnny." He's like, "Hey, I can't believe you're awake. I'm like, where the fuck is my hat? He's like, oh, dude, it's gone. Your fucking hat's gone. You threw up in your hat like a shitload of times. It's fucking gone. I know you like that hat. I just didn't like it as much as you, so I left it.
No.
Yeah, I have one good memory of like clarity in the middle of all that shit is before we went to bed, even though we were blackout drunk already. I remember I was in the shower in the hotel room and I had a big dip in. You know, I'm bad at dipping, right? Especially when I'm drunk, and I was just in there just sloppy as hell in the shower, just like just trying to figure out where the hell I was at. And I remember Josh came in and he was like, oh my God, he's still awake. Nice dick, dude.
What the fuck?
And then he just took off. And I was like, cool.
That's fucking terrible, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you remember?
Yep. That's what I remember. In the shining beacon of the darkness, I remember somebody complimented my dick.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, I can go to bed happy.
Oh, shit. Oh.
So we need to talk to who did that, Josh?
Josh, yeah.
He said that, so
he said nice dick, dude.
We'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We'll get the other side of the story.
If we could ever fucking pin him down for 2 seconds.
Josh would vouch for me. He'd tell you. I don't know.
Yeah. He's like, yes,
he'd vouch for me. 100%. I'm confident of that. He'd vouch for me, yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh, my God, dude. That's hilarious. Yeah. I asked Chris if he can still smell vomit in his freaking minivan every once in a while, but he said no. He said they cleaned it out good. So you're all right. I did almost break my fucking finger though.
Those minivans are fast.
Well, they don't corner well. Especially when you don't know you're going to go around a corner.
They get a little bit of a roll going.
You're in the middle and fucking somebody takes a fucking 90-degree corner and you go flying.
Oh, fuck.
Mommy missiles.
Yeah. Had a fucking cigar in one hand, tried to brace myself with the other, and freaking it just bent backwards.
Jesus. I had a great time, though. It was a great trip. If I could do it over different, I probably wouldn't drink a whole lot. I just enjoy the fishing part of it. And Josh was asleep the whole time fishing.
He was sick as shit, and he was in a lot of pain because his arm was broke.
Yeah, and he just did the whole Marine Corps thing. Just went inside, stacked up, put his foot up on the door, and then just like, he was just out.
I'm pretty sure he took a couple extra painkillers and fucking they knocked him out.
Because that was hard fishing, anyways. I mean, I'm serious. Even if we were sober, that was nasty water.
Oh, it was nasty. Yeah, the ocean was.
And I specifically have this great memory of right when we were coming in, it was totally fucking Lake Placid out there.
Flat.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, redo the whole thing.
Oh yeah, it did clear up right when we were coming in.
It was like 20 minutes out. Perfect.
Bam.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was tough. And then nobody wanted to eat any pizza. It was sad.
It's always sad when I don't want to eat pizza. It's always sad.
Oh shit. That's fucking awesome. Yeah. So you'll have to find a new gun store over there in Nebraska.
Probably plenty.
You're gonna have to find some cool places
you guys
to
can
hang
hook
out.
it up. And...
Cool gun law differences in Nebraska as opposed to Oregon. In Nebraska, you do not need a concealed carry permit. If you want to put a gun in your pocket, you go for it. You have the right to carry a gun concealed just as much as you have a right to conceal a gun open carry.
That's awesome.
100%.
That being said, as always, there's that one black sheep in the family, which of course is Omaha. In the city of Omaha, they say you have to have a special blah, 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 blah.
Omaha's Nebraska's Portland.
It's Portland, right. And of course, same attitude there in Portland. I don't give a shit. You can't say that your city law surpasses the state law, so you can get two of those big guys right there. For those of you that are just listening, I threw 2 middle fingers. Yeah, no, that's my attitude on that.
Good.
Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're concealed carrying a firearm, nobody is ever going to know that you have that gun on you unless you pull it out and shoot somebody with it. And if that's the case, ain't going to be no witnesses if I do it.
It's the goofiest ass law ever.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to have a permit.
So you're even going to kill innocent bystanders or what?
It's, look, I'm not saying I'm going to shoot innocent people, but if there's like some weird cow side-eyeing me.
Yeah, that fucker's dead.
Weird cow.
He's turning into steaks.
Yeah.
Or
you're like, this guy tried to rob me. And we've got some extra beef.
He tried. Yeah, I was in fear for my life.
He was getting in the vehicle.
He tried to hide behind that cow.
I fired wildly in every direction, and that guy right there, he looked utterly suspicious to me.
Utterly.
And they're like, oh, "Okay, buddy."
I see what you did there. I see.
Yeah.
I picture a lot of gun stores in Nebraska as being like the old school with like 3 stools out in front of the counter.
Oh yeah.
Coffee pot at the end of the counter.
Sure.
And like all the dudes are like smoking a cigarette or got a chew in, and they're just sitting there talking about freaking what happened at the diner last Thursday.
That's the way.
I imagine I'm going to hear like, "I know what I got, Sonny," like a ton of times.
Yeah.
Like, you see this? This is a Mauser 98.
98.
Yeah, this thing will shoot right through a Sherman tank end to end. I know what I got. Like,
There's nothing on the gun rack except for shotguns and like 3 SKSs.
yeah, some old like trash can Mausers and some Mosins and shit. Yeah,
$70 price tag on them.
yeah. The barrels are all bent and everything.
Yeah.
There's a barrel of old barrels.
No, but then like out of nowhere in the middle of the store, like an old fucking Civil War howitzer, and I'm like, there it is.
Yeah.
This is a 40 millimeter anti-aircraft gun off of the Missouri,
Yeah.
in case you need to shoot down those police helicopters.
Wait a minute.
They got a reloading bench at the counter,
Yeah,
and they're just like putting out 10-round sandwich bags of freaking ammo.
no, and I'm gonna have some guns there that don't make any sense to them. Like I'm gonna have like my 500 Magnum, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you afraid of?" And I'm gonna be like, "Not a damn thing."
Cows.
That's going to make more sense to them than like your AK that looks like a starry night
Yeah.
sky.
Hey, that's Darcy's beautiful AK. That looks like
They're
a.
going to be like, "Why'd you do that, son?"
And I'll
Yeah.
be like,
This is awful.
"It's for my
weird.
wife. That's
is-
totally fine."
This is different.
Yeah. Why does yours have pinup girls on it? Because it looks like an airplane.
Dude, I bet they have some awesome gun shows, though.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you don't matter. Because it's smack bang in the center of the United States. So there's tons of reasons for people to come from all over the place to dump their guns there. That means we're getting the people from Wyoming. You know those crazy motherfuckers from Wyoming have everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to buy like a 20 millimeter anti-tank rifle.
200 8-foot tables and a fucking armory.
Yeah, and there's going to be like one guy with 8 tables, just like, and this is a SAM site in case you need to shoot down jet airplanes.
That'd be cool, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember Pete at one of our gun shows had like an anti-tank missile. He's like, it doesn't work. And we're like, it looks
Whatever.
cool.
Pete would never say that. Pete would be like, "I don't think it works."
I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the guy I got it from said that it might not.
There's a buddy of mine. He had a case of hand grenades one time. He got told that they were fakes, but they weren't. Anyways, this is out of that case, so it might work.
It might.
Yeah.
I can't legally say it won't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't want to be reliable.
that sounds about right.
Can I try one out? Hell no. Hell no, you can't. Then definitely don't pull the pin and put it back.
So, when you were doing the water thing out there in Glide,
Mm-hmm.
any cool stories from that?
What do you define as cool stories?
Well, so I know that you already said that you have PTSD from seeing people running equipment
In their yards.
Yeah. If listeners, if you are
Just don't say names.
if
dude.
you're considering a job working for the public, and I don't mean like customer service, I mean if you're thinking about being a utility person in the town that you live in, which is an enormously small town where everybody knows where you live, who you are, where you grew up, what your name is, what your kids are doing. If you live in this town where you work and be expected to at 10:30 at night have some random fucking drunk person knock on your door and tell you that they see water in a ditch and it concerns them, and then you say, why the fuck are you walking around at 10:30 at night? And they act like you're the crazy person.
What do you mean?
Well,
Everybody
your
does
house
it.
is on the way home from the Narrows.
Oh, and I made the mistake of living right next to the track, and there was a lot of leaks at the track. And the best part is the school has their own water for irrigation, so none of that was my fucking problem.
Yeah.
But I still have to put pants on and go look at it.
Yep. That's not mine.
Yeah. And the best part is when you call somebody. Yeah. Hey, school maintenance people, I'm out here. It's 11 o'clock at night. You guys have like a geyser of water coming out of the ground here. It's like 3 feet tall. Just gotta be like an 8-inch pipe, just gushing water. There's like a literal pond I'm pretty sure there's bass swimming in it. It's a huge amount of water, probably 100,000 gallons of water. And they're like, well, what are you doing out there? Okay, never mind. Just fucking fix it when you want to. Dude. I'm going back to bed. It's clearly not my problem. You know what I mean? Yeah. One time, so the pipes in Glide are fucky, okay? The Glide water system is a system that was made on 4 separate little services that all got conglomerated together under Glide water at one time. Back in Glide in the past, there used to be like 4 families that kind of own the whole town, you know? You're thinking like, I'm not saying any specific names, but you imagine like Livingstons and those sorts of people would be like the big people, the Longs. Anyways. So one part of Glide, all the water lines are 4 inches under the ground. I'm not exaggerating that.
Yeah.
They're 4 inches under the ground. If you take a fucking shovel and you go boing, in your backyard and you'll go clank and you'll hit it half a shovel down. And there's people with excavators digging out for sheds and things and digging foundations for houses, doing that when it's 4 inches under the ground. Alternatively, you also have water lines that are 8 feet down.
Because of field dirt. Yes.
One of the times we were out in front of the community center, that's one of those amazing 8-foot down pipes, which is 35 feet away from where the water lines are 4 inches above the ground. Think of the angles in your head that these pipes are going. And we're replacing a valve because our valve doesn't work. Most of the valves in Glide don't work. If there's a shut off, instead of turning off one street, we have to turn off like 4 fucking streets to get the water. Anyways.
And then redesign the whole fucking
we
area.
Specifically did the repair for this water line at like 11 o'clock at night or something, because there's like, that's the one thing where it would have interfered with the businesses. You know, there's like fucking 3 businesses in Glide.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with them.
The little restaurants and the clinic right there, and we specifically scheduled it at nighttime so we didn't have to say, hey, you guys have to shut off. We were being prudent, we were being polite, we were being courteous and professional. Again, knowing that there's only so many businesses, we didn't want to be those guys. So, 8 feet down, we're cutting into an asbestos pipe. Because everything in fucking Glide that's that far down is so old, it's made out of transite, which is concrete asbestos. So you have to have all your proper gear, and you have to get the thing wet. And it's so much of a hassle to get rid of that shit. We're, again, 8 feet down. There's a ladder into the hole. There's shoring that holds the walls up, just in case something sloughs off or whatever. We're doing everything by the book. We have our DRC out. You know, our guy that does the whole, like, West Coast is out there helping us with it, making sure everything goes properly. 11 o'clock at night, got the lights on, everything's going smooth, we're cutting into the pipe. This fucking guy shows up, and he's yelling down into the hole, and I'm like looking up vertically at like a 90-degree angle. What? Hey, why the fuck is the water off? It's fucking 11 o'clock at night. Well, I run the coffee shop here, and I just want to know if I'm going to have water in the morning. Yeah, you'll have water in the morning. We're going to be done with this in like 4 hours, right? Well, why the fuck is there a boil water notice? Because we're cutting the pipe. Yeah, but that's bullshit, because now I have to tell everybody tomorrow when I'm making them coffee that there's a boil water notice. Like, okay, man.
That's your business.
We're fucking busy right now, right? It's the weirdest fucking thing, working for people. Like, that guy had nothing better to do?
To come and just tell you his shit, you know?
I just don't understand that. Like, if I was fucking rich and had multiple businesses, I would be at home fucking doing shit. I wouldn't be fucking driving around at 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night.
Find something to bitch about.
Yelling at fucking public service workers.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that will pick a fight with public service utility people is incredible. It's like, okay, I'll just shut off your water then. Well, wait, what?
Why would you do that?
Yeah, because I don't want to fucking argue with you. And they're like, they're baffled. Like, you're the one, you don't pick a fight with the water company, you don't pick a fight with the power company. Why are you doing this to me?
All right.
We had one guy one time up at our tanks. We drive up there in the morning. He just bought the house, right? We have easements. There's a road that goes to our tanks. It's on his property, but there's obviously water tanks there on his property, like way down at the bottom.
Because I didn't know you guys would be using the road.
With our own road that we maintain and everything else. There's like our own power pole with the Pacific Power thing that works for emergency backup shit in case power goes out so we can still pump water up.
Yeah.
I drive up there one morning and the guy's got an electrician out there and they have the Pacific Power meter taken off of the panel and the guy's like rewiring everything. And I'm like, hey,
what's going on?
That's not your power meter. And he's like, it's not? I'm like, no, that's ours. The wires are going to the water tanks right there. Oh, well, that's not what I got told. I'm like, well, I don't care what you got told. Any licensed electrician in the fucking world wouldn't take Pacific Power's meter off of the fucking pole.
You should fucking know.
Right? So the guy that's apparently the dude's dad, just jumps in his truck and leaves. Because he's like, oh, this is bad.
I'm out.
Yeah, like, because like I said, any licensed electrician would not touch Pacific Power's meter, right? That's a big no-no. You don't have to be a master electrician to know that you don't fuck with the power company's shit, right?
Yeah.
Even an amateur, even I know, if you're doing your own electricity, you can't take Pacific Power's meter off of a fucking pole and put it on the ground.
Not unless you're a crackhead.
That's insane to me, right? And that issue is still not resolved since I've been there for 2 years. They still haven't figured out what they want to do with that. Because Pacific Power came, turned everything off, and said, until you get a county inspector out here to re-clear this, we're not even going to put power here. And it's like, that guy was literally suing us. He got a lawyer to sue us. And it's like, what did we do?
Yeah, you blew the whistle on me.
Yeah, what did we do? And it's like, dude, Pacific Power shut your ass off. We did nothing to you. So, again, work for the public at your own leisure. Most of the people are all right, but there's like, and again, in a small town of Glide, there's 5 people that are fuckheads, and everybody knows who they are, and it's really hard to not just call them out on it, because you know that nobody will have a problem with you. And you're trying to maintain professionalism, and it's so easy to not do it in a small town.
Nope.
It's so easy to just be like, oh, look, another shutoff notice for the 13th consecutive month. You know what I mean?
No, it's good to hear that things haven't changed up there.
No, it's the same.
I used to live up there. So.
It's the same.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, everybody knows I got a shutoff notice. Yeah, the truck drives around with big red slips on it like once a month. And I go to your house once a month. It's not a secret that you get a fucking shutoff notice once a month. You know what I mean?
Cluster.
There's no way I could do it sneaky.
Yeah.
There's no way.
And maybe, like you plan it out,
yeah,
too.
And here's an idea.
Hey.
How about you pay your bill?
There's always that.
Here's an idea. But again, I'm getting jaded from that experience. So.
No.
You won't have to deal with that.
I won't have to deal with that anymore.
Nope.
Nowadays, I'll be living so close to the road, or the railroad, when I hear like this fucking... I'll just be like, I better show up to work.
There's a wreck.
I'll be like the only on-call employee who shows up before they even call him. I'll be like, I just heard the crash. You know what I mean? It'd be nice.
So apparently your place must be close to the switchyard.
In the words of everybody that I've talked to, everything in North Platte is adjacent to Bailey Yard. But the place that I'm at is very close. Very close. It's like you pull out of your driveway, turn right, and then you turn right again, and you're in the little like rail yard parking lot. So
you won't even have time for your truck to warm up.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome, because if there's like 6 feet of snow, I'll just like walk to work. I don't have to worry about them
Get a
plowing.
snowmobile or something.
Got snowshoes hanging at the front.
Dude,
door.
I'm so concerned about it, because snow is fun right up until it ain't.
Yeah.
Right? How's that work when you got like 6 feet of snow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of shoveling involved.
Better buy a snowblower.
Yeah.
Everybody here buys lawnmowers and shit.
Yeah.
Buy a fucking snowblower.
And like I said, that gives you the reason to have the snowplow on the front of your truck.
Yeah.
Dude, I got kids. I'm going to be like, hey, you little fuckers.
Let's go for a ride.
Get on out there. There's a
Yeah,
shovel.
right. You got a few
Hey.
years before they'll be worth a shit.
Anyways, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be nice.
You will hate the job that they do.
Yeah.
It'll
Might
be
as
nice.
well do it myself.
Yeah.
They can get-
Why can't you guys follow directions? Yeah.
You can ask your dad about that. I'm sure he knows all about it.
We didn't have anything to do, though.
Whatever. There was shit that you should have been doing that your dad did because he knew you would fuck it up.
I'll tell you what, I know one thing about living with my parents, and that's that the absolute dead second I moved out, they immediately hired a trash service to come pick up their trash every week, because I would run to the dump for
Because
them.
you were the dump runner.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the minute I moved out, they hired trash, and they're like, it's actually cheaper just having Sutherland Sanitary do it than have you do it. And I'm like,
what the fuck?
love you guys. Appreciate you. Yeah.
No, there's a reason why fathers do so much shit around the house. Because they would love it if their kids would help out. But their kids can't do the job correctly.
Yeah.
It's got to happen sooner or later. You got to be the change that you want to see in the world, Carlos.
Yeah.
You got to be the change that you want to see.
How old's your son?
2.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, he's a beefy 2.
Yeah.
I expect great things from Henry.
Yeah. In 10 years, I'm going to call you and be like, so how's that working out? and you're gonna be like, "Fuck that kid."
It's not.
You want to hear my snowblower? I'll fire that shit. I'll fire it up for you, Carlos. You hear my snowblower?
Guess what I bought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
29 horsepower.
Yeah. They just never do the job like you want them to. So. It's all right though. You get used to it.
Maybe. I got high hopes for my kids. I do.
Yeah. And then the wife always gets involved too.
Yeah. That's the whole hiccup.
Yep.
The kids would
You're
learn.
like, damn it, I'm teaching them.
The kids would learn to do the job correctly.
Why are you corrupting
if you were
them?
allowed to do it.
I had this going just right.
Yeah, but your wife always steps in and makes you stop teaching them because you're not being nice.
Yeah, dude, remember George Carlin had a whole thing about that. He was like, the perfect way to raise a young man in this country is to have kids with a girl, and then she just fucking dies when the kid's like 6. Because, like, basically up until then, you're just keeping the thing alive, right? And then when it's like 5 and it starts talking to you and asking you questions, you're like, okay, I can kick in, I can do some dad shit, right?
No.
He's like, but then mom stops you. He's like, really, the woman has to just die when the kid is like 6, right? When you're like, hey, Billy, go get daddy a beer, and he does it, then you're cleared to be a father. Before that,
No.
you're just keeping a fucking thing alive.
Yep.
You're not teaching it nothing. After that, when you have all the wisdom in the world, your wife will stop you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why did you
Because
show
you're not
him
being
that?
nice.
Yeah, I'm not saying I agree with that, but I'll let you know if I agree with that when I have a 6-year-old.
I agree with it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, you gotta be nicer.
I feel like you gotta smack those kids. You gotta smack those kids.
Yes. You don't hear that too much.
Yeah.
That's fucking
I'm an
great.
old soul, you know this. I'm 70 years old at heart. If you're not hitting those fucking kids, you're not disciplining those kids.
Dude,
No.
I'll tell you what, when I was
What's
a
the
kid,
quickest way to learn?
Pain.
Hey.
Fear and pain.
Fuck yes.
the biggest thing that my brother and I were scared of was when my mom would say,
Wait till your dad
gets home. If she said that to us, we would be bawling the minute he pulled into the driveway. Like, we'd be just in the house hysterically crying because we knew when he walked in the door.
Yeah.
And now looking back, I think that my dad probably walked in the door and was like, "Oh fuck,
God damn it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys.
Dude,
I guess I'm
you-
beating some fucking kids."
Why are you
here."
doing this to me?
we had days where my dad would just fucking go back to work.
Yeah.
He'd come
Turn
home
around.
and my mom would be like, run. My dad would be like, you know what? I'm going back to work.
I
And he
forgot
dead ass
something.
would. He'd go back to work for like fucking 2 hours.
I forgot something at work.
Yeah.
My dad would come in. We'd be in our bedroom, fucking just bawling,
Yeah.
and my dad would come in there, and I mean, literally, he's been home for 2 minutes. He'd come in and be like, "What'd you guys do?" "Oh, whatever. We fucking screwed up mom's plants or whatever the fuck we did. I don't know what we got in trouble for." And he'd be like, "All right, well, I'm going to have to spank you." And, we'd get a couple spankings.
Whack, whack, and that
I'd
was
get
the
a
end of
couple
it.
extra because I was the older brother. And when you're an older brother, if your little brother fucks up, it was your fault for not keeping an eye on him.
Damn right.
And so I got some extra. And but looking back, my dad could have had the most amazing day ever, and we ruined it the
it.
second he walked in the door. and I
Yeah,
was
sorry,
crying.
Dad.
He walks in the door, just hears crying from the bedroom, and my mom instantly goes, "Those little fuckers,"
Son
something
of
like
a-
that. And my dad's like, "Well, the rest of my night's screwed."
And he just got home from work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy just worked all day long.
Dude, I'm that guy every
First
once
thing
in a
he's
while.
got to do is take his belt off and beat his kid.
Dude, I get home from work sometimes and Darcy's like, "Okay, now that you're home, I'm fucking done." And I'm just like, "Dude, this
What
is
do you mean?
this is shitty."
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go take a shower.
And you want to know
You're
why I
like,
worked an extra 2 hours today?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I come home like covered in mud, and I'm like, I just want to take a shower, man. How am I not supposed to be mad at my kids? Well, they're like 2. Yeah, but you stuck them on me. That's on me now.
Yeah.
Whatever happens to them, that's.
Let me come home first. Let me change out
Let
of
me
these
take
clothes.
let me take my fucking muddy pants off.
You go through the whole ordeal, you do the deed, you spank their ass, whatever, and then you walk and you get the look like, what the fuck did you do that for?
And I don't think you can really spank the shit out of like a 2-year-old. I
No,
don't think they're
you
getting
can't.
it quite yet.
Oh no, dude! You just smack them once and they'll learn.
That's it.
Yeah.
Repetitiveness.
Yeah.
You do that for every day for the rest of their life.
They'll grow up when they're 16. They'll be like, I remember when I was 2, my dad used to just smack me every time he walked in the door.
You just look at me. Oh.
Dude, my kid runs the fucking place right now. It's
Definitely.
hilarious. We go over to we go over to my mom and dad's, his grandparents.
Yeah.
He runs that fucking house when he's over there. He'll be sitting there, he'll grab somebody's finger and pull on and be like, pop, pop, and they'll get him a popsicle. He'll go open the pantry and just hand him something like, that's a Pop-Tart, open that up for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll take like a bite of it and be like, okay, I'm done. Here's a granola bar. Let's go. Open that shit up for me.
Yep.
And they will. And like we leave the house and there's like a plate full of food that all has like one bite out. Here's an apple with one bite out of it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what our house looks like. Does he do that to us?
And you look at your folks and you're like, how the fuck did they let that happen?
And
they would have killed me if I did that.
It's not my problem.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, Mom, I was your kid.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that this is happening right now. I don't fucking believe it. Because when I was a kid, I didn't get none of this shit.
That wasn't allowed.
No. And now it's like, oh yeah, he just dumped a sack of flour onto the floor.
And they just laugh about it.
That's the grandkid.
It's all fucking fine. He's just curious. Like,
he's learning.
I wouldn't have believed you had kids unless I was one of them.
Well, I think that's the way it is when you get grandkids.
It is.
It was like with my dad, dude. My dad was so strict and stuff, and then now he's like so mellow with the grandkids. And then I'm a grandkid. I've got grandkids now, and they can't do anything wrong.
No.
Yeah, because you get to just see them during the good times, and then you just hand them off to somebody.
They get to go home. That's it.
Well, for me, yeah, but Sarah has them like all the time.
See, my parents got it all finagled real good where they never have to watch them after hours. They watch them for like an hour or two at a time. They got it perfect.
Yeah.
I got robbed. Meanwhile, frickin' Tanner's mom's watching the goddamn grandkids more than their parents are. And I'm like, how do I get in on that? How do I cash in on that shit right there? God, I want that so bad.
Tanner's got kids?
No, all of his brothers and sisters have kids.
Okay.
Yeah. Yvonne's the nicest woman on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. That's funny. Yeah, I love having my grandkids around. And it's
different.
True.
It's totally different.
Yeah, it's true. They wear me out, but I don't ever seem to really get mad at them.
No.
I'm super proud of my kids when they do stupid shit, though.
Yeah.
I am super proud of them. I really am. Like when Henry's
memories.
Like the other day, oh shit, what was I doing? And Henry he did something. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing that. He's 2 years old. That's fucking incredible. And I was like, hey, dude, he just did like nobody cared. And I was like, no, dude, he's 2 years old.
You don't understand. That's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do.
Like Henry will watch. Henry will be watching Justice League on TV or whatever's on Cartoon Network. He doesn't give a shit about anybody but Batman. And it's incredible to me that he can just totally not be doing it, just playing with his toys. And as soon as Batman's on the screen, he's like, oh, there's Batman. He says that. Batman. And when the Batmobile's on there, because they have this own show now with just the cars, and he's like, Bat wheels. And I'm like, yeah. And then like Flash is on there, and he's just like, not giving a fuck.
He's like,
doesn't
Flash.
like Wonder Woman, doesn't like Superman.
Yeah.
Batman's on TV though. He's like,
shit. There he is.
Ah, dude.
And that's funny because all kids like Batman. He's the only one with no superpowers.
Yeah, but he's cool.
He's just a regular dude with a bunch of shit.
Yep.
Batman's got the best jokes because he has time to set them up. See, that's what you're missing is Batman has time to quip, right? Superman has all the time in the world to tell smart-ass jokes, but he doesn't because he's Superman. Batman has all the time in the world to tell smart-ass jokes because he's rich.
Yep.
That's why Batman's cool. I'm not a fan of Batman because he beats the shit out of criminals. Because honestly, if the Joker's escaped the mental asylum like 110 times after he's
doing something wrong.
If a guy has deployed gas on the city and killed hundreds of thousands of people, and then he gets out of prison, and then you put him back into prison, who's really the war criminal at this point?
Blame it on the
somebody should have just
system.
shot the fucking Joker in the head a long time ago. And at this point, this is Batman's fault.
It's all these district attorneys,
right?
Yeah.
Like Superman's dealing with different shit. Superman's like, yeah, here's an alien from Trigon 7. We can't really put him in prison because he's psychic.
There's a fucking
Like, I get
asteroid.
Superman. I'm sympathetic with Superman. I'm not sympathetic with Batman. Batman should be killing people, right? When Superman tells a joke, it's hilarious because he's Superman. He's so full of himself that it's great. Like, he'd be walking around in Central Park at night and some security guard would be like, oh, I guess I can just take the night off. I didn't know Superman's out. And he'd be like, actually, citizen, both of us are on patrol. Like, this one fucking random security guard guy is going to make a difference when fucking Superman's there. And
Thanks, Superman.
yeah, exactly. And I appreciate the humor there. Batman doesn't have that kind of humor, right? Batman's just like, I'm Batman, you know? But he's funny though. He'll still be fucking funny as hell. He's just a different kind of funny.
Hell yeah.
You know, like, you know, you trap the Batmobile under a bridge and then you're like, are you ready for a riddle, Batman? He's like, actually, it's kind of a bad time. I'm trying to call AAA right now, you know, because he is just a regular guy. Like, he's got fucking problems.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, we should probably wrap it up. We've been talking for a little bit. It was great spending some time with you, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everything is great in Nebraska.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll come visit when you come back to town. Maybe we'll get you on here again and you can tell us all about your Nebraska
adventures,
experiences.
Of course.
And all the people that are super interested in knowing what happens there in Nebraska will get to hear some new stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
All right. So I guess until next time, we'll see everybody later. Have a good one.